What up, guys? Gangspranks are back with a brand new episode of my monthly figure purchases. Welcome for the month of March 2023. Hope you guys enjoyed the last video, what we did for February. To be honest, March was a pretty long month. I don't even remember February, but March, we got some crazy stuff. Lots of stuff came in. A couple pre-orders I was not expecting. A couple pre-orders I was expecting. And just a mix of a bunch of different things. Also, in this episode, I got what I would consider a holy grail for myself. This is an item I always wanted as a kid. I recently just picked it up. A newer version, like I didn't care if it was the older version when it came out when I was a kid or the newer version. I just want this figure, so I can't wait to show that off later. And a lot of cool stuff to show off this month. I'm going to be honest, I thought March was going to be a little quiet. Not like librarian quiet, but like I wasn't expecting as much stuff this month. But you know what? Hey, I'm not going to complain because it's all stuff that I like and care about. And we've got a pretty packed episode this episode. We got a lot to talk and show off this episode, so we're just going to pretty much get into it. Picked up a bunch of stuff, a lot of toy news, a lot of pre-orders came out in the month of March. A lot of cool stuff to talk about, so look forward to that. So we're just going to get right into things. In case you're new to this series, the channel, whatever it may be, I am going to play a pre-recorded video that I'm going to clip in, and it just kind of breaks down what I collect and what you can expect from this series. So without further ado, we're going to cue that up, and we're going to get right into figure showing off. Before I show off what I got for the month, I'm going to quickly go through what I'm collecting and what you can expect in this series. And it breaks down to 8 different collections. First one, we got Marvel Legends. For this, I mainly collect Spider-Man and X-Men, mainly anything that comes in those lines. I've broken down and basically started collecting one of each character. I don't collect everybody per se. There are characters where I will shy away from. Characters who I'm very not familiar with, I will stay away from. Unless they're on clearance and they're a good deal, I might snag them up. But I tend to just stick with characters that I'm familiar with or I know somewhat. And with the Marvel Legends, I don't collect any MCU figures. I mainly just do comic, video game, or animated show design characters. Next, I collect McFarlane's DC Multiverse. For this, I mainly just do Batman, his allies, his villains, just kind of get one of each. I am starting to build out some other collections like Flash and Green Lantern. Now I'm kind of looking to collect one of each major character. Major villains, major heroes, kind of do like a Legion of Doom and a Justice League kind of setup. For this as well, no movie figures, strictly video game or comic-inspired designs. Next, I collect Transformers. For my Transformers collection, I only collect Beast Wars figures, or animal characters, whatever you'd like to say. With this, I started collecting with the Kingdom line, and that has transitioned to the Transformers Legacy line, so that's what I'm collecting now. I also collect the retro Beast Wars figures, and for this, I'm just kind of looking to collect one of each, Predacons, Maximals, stuff like that. Next, I collect Dragon Ball SH Figuarts. For this collection, I'm just looking to collect one of each character. Now, each character does have multiple forms, like Goku, for example, has 7 different Saiyan forms. I might collect those all eventually, but my main priority is just getting one of each character. Next, I collect Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. With this one, it's a little weird. I like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I respect them more than I like them. I grew up somewhat with them, but I'm not crazy about them. But I like them enough to where I want some representation of them in my collection. So that's why I've decided to collect the Loyal Subjects Best Action line. For this, I just really want the Turtles and Shredder. They are creating other characters. But for me, I want to collect all 4 Turtles and Shredder. And once I have that, I'll start to collect some of the other figures. But if they decide to end the line eventually, I'll be happy with having the Turtles and having Shredder. Next, I collect video game characters. For this, I mainly collect characters from video games that kind of mean something to me, my favorite games. I also collect some figures of characters from other games, kind of, bigger games, Sonic, Mario, stuff like that. But I tend to just pick characters from games that I really care about. Next, I collect Power Rangers. For this, I collect Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning Collection. With this, I'm looking to collect one of each ranger, each villain, just one of each. There's also a couple different items in the Lightning Collection. They're starting to do the Zords, and they do some roleplay items. For me, I do plan on collecting the Zord Ascension Project as they release more of that. In terms of roleplay items, not for me. For me, I'm just about the figures. And then last but not least, I collect wrestling figures. For this, I collect mainly WWE Elite Style or AEW Unrivaled Unmatched. I collect both those lines. I'm just looking to collect one of each wrestler. And fun fact about this collection in particular, it is the only collection of mine that I take out of box for whatever reason. Everything else stays in the box, and I display it as such. So now that you know what I collect, let's see what additions are going to be coming to my collection this month. All right, there's the video. Yes, I collect 8 different collections. This month, we're going to be adding to 7 of them. We're going to be adding to everything except the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collection, but we will be talking about them in the pre-order section, so they aren't forgotten, but they are just missing this month. Let's get right into the figure showcase. So we are going to start out with probably a surprise for me. Surprise how much I like this figure. We talked about it a couple episodes ago. I pre-ordered this and it finally came in, and it is a video game character, and it's kind of a celebration for the new Mario movie that's coming out. I am pretty excited for it. In case you missed it, the newest episode of Gangster Plays, we also talk about the Mario movie. We did a Mario game just in kind of celebration of that. So I thought, you know what, let's continue that train rolling. And this figure is set in that universe. He's actually going to be making an appearance in the movie, voiced by Seth Rogen. Now, this is not a figure from the movie. This is just a figure from the World of Nintendo collection, but it is the same character. And the character that I am talking about is the big DK himself, Donkey Kong. Yes. I'm going to be honest, I actually really like how this figure turned out. I was very, I don't want to say skeptical, but I was kind of interested to see what the final product would look like. All the promotional images of him are basically just him like this, just kind of hunched over doing his monkey business. So I didn't know what to expect, but I gotta say, with the presentation and all, I actually really like this figure quite a bit. We're going to talk about the box before we get into the figure, so we'll just show it off. There we see Deluxe Donkey Kong. Apparently stands at 6 inches. I believe if that's fully extended, right now he's hunched over, so he's probably like 4. So let's show off the box real quick. This is made by Jax Pacific, and it's got a very tropical vibe. I really like this. Like, he is plucked right from the jungle. There we see him having a great old time with his tie. There he is, beating his chest, and we'll read the description here. While he is content to relax on his island with his family and banana horde, it seems Donkey Kong can never catch a break. So nice shot of him on the back, same shot of him on the side. On the bottom, we got a bunch of boring stuff, and on top just says Donkey Kong. Yeah, the figure itself I think looks pretty good. He's got a nice big smile there. He's got his nice trademark tie. And I don't know how much articulation he has. Maybe you can say on the back. It does not. But as we can see from this image, bends at the elbow. It looks like his wrist twist. It's got an ab crunch. I'm assuming his neck can turn side to side. And his legs, there's no bend at the knee, but you can probably rotate the upper thigh. Not upper thigh, but like just in between that hip bone. The feet look like they twist around, but at the same time, it could just be visual stuff. Like that one doesn't look like it twists around, but that one does. Not too sure. But there's some articulation there if you do want to mess around with it. But yeah, I think this looks awesome. I brought a couple video game figures to kind of show them off with. So first I brought in Minecraft Steve. And Minecraft Steve is definitely smaller than Donkey Kong here, but I thought it was just a fun thing to put them up against each other. I got Coco Bandicoot. I actually like these guys together. I think they look good. I really need to get a Diddy Kong for Donkey. I hope they release one, because I'm a bigger fan of Diddy Kong than I am of Donkey Kong. But you know what? We won't talk about Diddy that much. But yeah, I think these guys look good together. And I believe you can see these guys in a game together. I believe they're both at the Olympics, but we got Sonic and Donkey Kong. I think they pretty much go together. They're made by the same company, so I would assume so. where the other two, they still fit with each other, but they are not made by the same company, where Donkey Kong and Sonic are both made by Jakks Pacific, but they still look good together. I really like how they turned out. There's the 4 of them together, looking good. I really want to open up all these figures and just kind of set them up and have like one big video game universe that they all live together. But it's really hard, but I like them better in package. And we do have one more comparison. This one will actually fit with Donkey Kong because he is actually another Nintendo character. But we got Yoshi. Yay! Here he is with Donkey Kong. He looks a little big next to Donkey Kong, where I feel like Sonic and Coco and Minecraft Steve, they all are like proportionate to what I think Donkey Kong kind of would size up with. Yoshi looks a little big. I know Yoshi's sitting at 4 inches, and like I said, Donkey Kong's supposed to be at 6, so maybe fully extended, it would look more proportionate. With Donkey Kong kind of slouched over, they kind of look equal, which looks kind of weird, but we're going to take Yoshi away. But yeah, I really like this figure. I picked this up on Big Bad Toy Store. If you're interested, go check it out there. I think it's about 20 bucks. 20 or 21 bucks, I don't remember exactly, but I think it's a pretty good price. So if you're hyped for the Mario movie, go check this out and add it to your collection. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this. Next, we are going to move on to... we'll go into Dragon Ball. We're going to jump into Dragon Ball SH Figuarts, an addition to the collection here. Got another hero, and I'm going to be honest, this hero I was kind of against getting because he's part of a series that I don't really care for, but I do like the character, so that's kind of the reason I got him, because I eventually want to get all those forms. This isn't the first version I wanted to pick up of that character, but, you know, it is what it is. But the figure that I am talking about is Dragon Ball SH Figuarts Super Saiyan 4 Goku. The figure looks dope, but I've said it before, I'm not the biggest fan of Dragon Ball GT, as we can see the logo right there. I never really got into it. I always thought it was weird when I first saw the Super Saiyan 4 getup with where he's kind of like half ape and the hair is kind of long. Like, it's not super long, it's shorter than at least Super Saiyan 3. But yeah, there's just something about it that I was always like, oh, it looks kind of weird. And he looks super angry. Like, look at him. You'd think of Goku, you'd think he's like super fun and really laid back. This Goku, none of his faces look super happy. He just looks absolutely miserable in all of them. I do like Goku. He's probably one of my favorite characters, and I wish I got just a plain Goku first, but I had the opportunity to pick this up, and this is definitely something I wanted to pick up eventually. Not right away, but you know what? Like I said, I wanted to get it eventually, so we just knocked it out of the park now. But I think the figure itself looks pretty good. I think it's got a good likeness to what he looked like in the show. As we can see, we got 4 different expressions. All of them are a form of anger. We got anger showing teeth. We got anger, but he's kind of smiling. We got super angry. And here he just looks very grumpy, like, why am I in this stupid show? And you know what? I feel your pain. Tons of accessories, tons of different hands. On the side here, we have a blast effect and his tail. As we can see there, that is his tail. And the blast effect we can't really see too well, but I'll show it off on the back packaging, but it is right over here, and this is what it looks like. I'm assuming that is a Kamehameha of some sort. It could be wrong, just the way he has his hands. I'm going to assume it's a Kamehameha, even though Kamehamehas are blue, but maybe it's red because, you know, Super Saiyan 4 stuff. We'll show off the box real quick. I think the color of the box is kind of ugly. This kind of like pea green. Not pea as in, you know, the liquid, but just pea as in like, this kind of looks like pea soup. That kind of color, it just kind of looks gross to me. That's what I think of when I see this color. So it's not the most flattering color, but it kind of fits with it being Dragon Ball GT. I'm going to try not to shit on Dragon Ball GT because I know there's probably some fans of it. But, man, I don't know how you could watch that shit. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't my favorite Dragon Ball. We saw the side there. It says Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. We got another shot on the bottom. We already saw the front, but we'll get a nice clean shot there. We got the official sticker there. So we know it is official Tamashii Nation's figure. It's got their stamp of approval. On top, we just got a little portrait of Goku. He's teleporting. And on here, just a couple shots of him here. And on the back, some of the fun poses you can do. You can have him with the little Kamehameha blast. You can have him teleporting. You can have him do the Kamehameha without the blast effect. Him looking super happy. You got the tail. And him ready for a fight down here. So, nice clean shot of the back. Hopefully we'll have a cooler addition to the collection in April. Someone I'm more excited to see. So, it just sounds like I'm bashing this, and I kind of am, to be honest. But it's not the most exciting figure to me. Because it is Dragon Ball, I did have to add it to my collection. And like I said at the beginning, this is something that I wanted to add eventually. It just happened to be sooner than later because I had the opportunity to. So, yeah, cool to have them, but not my favorite. Next, we are going to be jumping into Transformers Beast Wars. Got one addition to the collection here. The only two additions I have left right now, at least for stuff that's kind of actively coming out, is the Leo Prime figure, which is part of the newer collection, the Transformers Legacy Collection, which hopefully I'll have for the month of April. And the other thing I'm missing is the figure that I got here, which is the Retro Beast Wars carded Maximal Canine. So this kind of came about randomly. In the month of March, Hasbro was doing this Hasbro Pulse sale, which is their online store, where they were pretty much doing a warehouse deal. They had a bunch of figures, super discounted. They were down to about 30% off. Only if you ordered $75 worth of stuff. So I was taking a look at the store. This is definitely something I wanted to pick up, so I automatically picked this up. As far as like getting over the $75 threshold, we'll talk about that stuff later. It was Power Ranger related stuff, and like I said, we'll talk about it then. But this was one of them, and this is definitely something I wanted to get because, like I said, this and Leo Prime, these are the only two things that are kind of currently coming out that I'm missing. So I'm happy to finally get this one. And with this one, it is available in Hasbro Pulse, and these retro carded Transformers figures are usually Walmart exclusives. I don't know if this one is specifically, but I'm just going to go under the assumption because the other ones are, I'm assuming this one is as well. So to try to get it from Walmart would be an absolute headache. So I just ended up grabbing it from Hasbro Pulse, and I'm pretty happy to have it. It is a repaint of another figure that we showed off a couple episodes ago. We'll show that off in a second, the comparison. But we'll talk about the figure itself. So he is a Maximal. It is Canine. That is the name of the character. And he is a German Shepherd. He is a dog. Paint, I think, looks good. It looks like a German Shepherd. Unfortunately, at the bottom, you can see the robot part sticking out, which isn't a big deal. For me, it kind of does look a little gross, but I can kind of forgive it, especially because this is based on an old release, where the newer figures, they kind of try and hide that more, which I'm super appreciative of. Here we go on the retro carded Transformers Beast Wars box. Always love getting these. Not much to show off box-wise because it is just a single blister card. On the bottom, we've got some boring stuff. On the sides, pretty much nothing to show. You get a nice shot of Canine there. On the other side, we see his nice waggly tail. On top, not really anything. The card is a little bent. That's just the way it came. And here we have the back. We have the instructions on how to transform him. We have a little breakdown of his skills, his strength, his speed. His strength, his knowledge, his speed, and his gun accuracy. And we have a fun little description here. So, Maximal Canine. Function, guard duty. Canine is always alert thanks to his lightning-fast reflexes and ultra-sensitive canine nose. When it comes to combat, his bite is definitely worse than his bark. And they forgot to say that he is a very good boy and he loves treats. Like I said, this is a repaint / retooling of another figure, and that figure is Wolfgang, who's also a Maximal. I would have liked if they went Maximal with one and Predacon with the other. I think it just would have been cooler instead of having like two kind of the same type characters on the same team. Plus, with them kind of facing each other like this, it would have been cool if one was a Predacon and one was a Maximal. But as you can see, the outer shell is pretty much the same. There are a little bit of differences. Obviously, the color, which even a blind person could tell you that. But the tails as well. As you can see, the tail is quite short and stout for Wolfgang. And on Canine, his tail kind of curves up. But the face, I believe, is exactly the same. Trying to get it here as best as possible. Yeah, it looks like the exact same molding. Actually, no. No, the ears are different. The face and the nose are all quite similar. Actually, I think the fur is different as well. Kind of over here with Canine. Different molding. But yeah, the ears are definitely bigger on Canine than they are on Wolfgang. So there is a little bit, but I would say the body is the same. Let me just take a close look before I jump out the window with any more accusations.
Accusations! These are not accusations. This is false accusations.
All right, so I took a pretty good look at both of them, and I think besides the head and the tail, I think the body is absolutely the same. As you can see, even the robot forms are kind of busting out. But I think this is a cool one. Obviously, there are two different types of animals. Obviously, one's a wolf, one's a dog. And yeah, just the one thing I would have liked if one was a Predacon. Obviously, they would have had to retcon something because these are re-releases from previous Beast Wars figures that came out in the 90s. But I just think that would have been a fun thing if, you know, I would say Wolfgang. You know, dog has to be a fucking maximal, you know, a dog's best friend. Where a wolf, it's more of a vicious animal. Dope figure. I'm glad I can add this to my collection. And hopefully, we'll talk more about Beast Wars later in the news section, because we might be getting some more Beast Wars figures sooner than later, potentially. Next, we are going to be jumping into the DC Multiverse, McFarlane's DC Multiverse. These are some things I pre-ordered on a previous episode of Gangster Plays. We talked about it then. Finally came in. I was kind of worried they might not come in time, but they did come in during March. I thought they were going to come in for like early April, and I wouldn't be able to have them for these videos because I believe they had like a late March ship date, but they ended up shipping out earlier, thankfully, so we're going to be showing them off. We got 3 editions here. The first one we're going to show off is a figure I am more excited than I thought I would be, and that is the new release of Con-El Superboy. I'm not the biggest Superman fan, but this figure just speaks to me, and it speaks to me for one simple reason. I had a figure of this very similar to when I was a kid, when I was a young boy. I had a Superboy figure. I'll throw it up on the screen. I don't remember where or when I got it. I'm going to assume my uncle bought it for me because he was really into Superman. I remember playing with it quite a bit, even though like I didn't care for it. I just thought it looked super cool. Dope colors with the red, yellow, and blue, plus the leather jacket, super 90s, and it just looked awesome. So when I saw that McFarlane was releasing this figure, I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to get that. I'm gonna have to get that in memory of my old Superboy figure. So here it is. It does look a little bit different than what they have displayed on the back. This is kind of how it looked originally. There are a couple different modifications here. Obviously the hair, we can see there's a more modern look here with the I don't know how you would describe this haircut, but this is kind of what modern dudes get. This is, you know, shaved on the sides, kind of longish on top. Also, the belt is different from what he has here. Here he has like a kind of punk rock belt, and he's got spikes on the shoulders, where the one on the back, no spikes on the shoulders, and he's got a different type of waist I guess, is that a waist bracelet? I don't know, but it seems very 90s. I'm assuming this is kind of what he looks like modern day. I haven't read any Superboy comics ever, so I'm not too sure. But I'm going to be honest, the small little alterations that they've done with him, I don't mind. I think they add a little bit of attitude to him, where, like I said, he does have more of a punk rock look here with, like I said, the spikes. Spikes on the belt here. Very punk rock. That's how you know someone is listens to a lot of death metal. Like I said, the figure itself does look really good. I'm very happy with it. We'll talk about it in a second. We'll just show off the box real quick. So there he is. No extra hands or anything, but he does come with a stand and a collectible card in the back. On the side, we got Con-El Superboy. On the opposite side, same thing. And we got this little sticker here, I'm assuming McFarlane put on, which kind of annoys me, but, you know, it's not that big of a deal. On the bottom, we got some boring stuff. On top, we don't really have much. And like I showed off already, we'll get a nice shot of him there. That classic Superboy look. So, as far as the figure, I think it looks good. I like it. I got a little bit of paint issues on the S on the chest. As you can see there, a little bit of scuff. I don't think it's scuff, but definitely some yellow paint got on it. And that's kind of unfortunate. It does look a little gross, but I don't think you noticed it until I mentioned it, which is kind of one of those things. But after you see it, then you can't stop looking at it, so now your eyes are just fixated on it. The head sculpt, I think, looks good. He looks like a little, like I said, teenage punk. Actually, something I just noticed is he has an S on his shoulder here. I did not notice that before. Doesn't look like there's an S on the other shoulder. It's not really like a good angle I can show, but there is no other S on the shoulder, just on the left one. And he's got a little pouch wrapped around his thigh and boots. Actually, his boots are different from what's displayed on the card. Obviously, on the back of the box, we can't see his lower half. But if you look on the card there, his boots are different. Focus, please. You can kind of see it, the black boots, and it's got like yellow rings around it. With here, they went more like Doc Marten type boots, which I don't mind. Like I said, it kind of fits his aesthetic that he's going for here. So a little bit of change, but not too much. And I've got a character here that I think he'll look pretty good with. And that is his... I don't know their relation. I know Superman and Supergirl are cousins. I don't know what his relation is with Superboy, Con-El. I don't think they're brothers. They might be cousins as well. Maybe he's his uncle, something. And now I gotta get a Supergirl to complete the family. I think these guys look really good together. So here we are. I guess it would have been cool if the S on Superboy had a little bit of a gloss like Superman, but not something I'm too concerned with. But they look pretty good together. I'm happy about this one. Another figure that I pre-ordered that came along with the Superboy and the other figure I have yet to show is another figure that just came out recently, and that is the original Flash, Jay Garrick. I'm going to be honest, I'm not too familiar with Jay Garrick as a Flash. I know he was the original one, and, you know, he's got a lot of history in the DC universe, but him as a character, I'm not too familiar with. I enjoyed him in the Flash show, played by John Wesley Shipp, something along those lines. I think that was the actor's name. In a different timeline, he was Barry's dad, but from Earth 2, he is Jay Garrick. And I think the figure looks good. There's only one thing that I'm not really a fan of, and I don't know why they did it, is the hands, the gloves that they did, where the sleeves come down a little bit onto the hands, where if we look on the back, it is just cut off at the wrist. So I don't know why they extended it past. Maybe they thought it looked a little plain. I'm not too sure. Also, he looks very young here, where on the back he looks quite old. He looks like he's been the Flash for quite some time. So maybe if they made him a little bit older, here he looks like he just got his powers. Yeah, just too small. I don't even really say there would be complaints, but just two things I would have liked. But unlike Superboy, Jay Garrick here actually comes with a lot of accessories. We got a bunch of lightning effects to display his speed, and we have an extra set of hands, and these can be used as his running hands, as seen here. The colors on him, I like how they're soft. They're not like hard reds, yellows, and blues. They're all like soft colors. Maybe soft isn't the right word, but they're like light, and I don't know how to describe this. They're light, and I don't know, they kind of remind me more of the Golden Age, where the darker colors with like Superboy, for example, they kind of seem more modern type of thing. In my head, I described it perfectly. I don't know if I was able to articulate it as well as I wanted it to, but it just seems kind of vintage with the color scheme. So I like that. So we're going to show off the box real quick. So on the side, we've got the Flash Jay Garrick. Jay Garrick, the Flash Age. I believe this is a storyline from a comic that this might be based off. There's a nice shot of him there. I believe I did that already, but in case I didn't, there it is. Top has nothing. On the side, Flash Jay Garrick. Again, we got the same sticker here. On the back, we've got a nice little shot of him. I'm assuming that's a comic cover of some sort. And on the bottom, boring stuff. Like I said, I don't have too much knowledge about this version of Flash, but I did bring a couple other Flashes because this is going to be a nice addition to my Flash collection. So joining him will be Barry Allen from the Injustice universe, world, whatever you want to say. And another Flash to join him will be Wally West. Or sorry, Wally, yeah, this is Wally West. Is it Wally West? I believe this one's Wally West. I Could be wrong. I remember when I first got him, I couldn't remember which version of him it was, and the same thing is happening again. But yeah, here's my Flash collection. I also have Reverse Flash and Godspeed. I was going to bring them, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make this a Flash family reunion. So we got Barry, we got Jay Garrick, and I want to say Wally West. So I think they look pretty good together. Obviously, these are more comic accurate versions of the characters. And like I said, this one's from the gaming universe, DC Injustice. But I kind of like the difference because Flash comes in so many different timelines, different worlds, whatever the case may be. So I actually kind of like it better where they don't kind of go together. But really cool. I'm super happy to have Jay Garrick to my Flash collection, and we're going to leave Wally West here for a second, is to have a kind of Teen Titans here, where we got Kid Flash and Superboy. I don't think these two have ever been in a variation of Teen Titans. I could be wrong. My Teen Titans history is very minimal, but I think these guys look really good together, and I look forward to getting more Teen Titan-ish characters adding to that collection. So just a cool little comparison I wanted to do. Last but not least, for the DC Multiverse, again, this was part of the other two figures. These are 3 that I pre-ordered altogether. I pre-ordered this off the McFarlane Toy Store because this third figure I'm about to show off is a McFarlane Toy Store exclusive. That's the only place you can get it if you are interested. Now, this is kind of a repaint, but it is kind of a new character. So that's kind of how I justified getting this, because this is going to be a new addition to my Green Lantern collection, or Lantern collection, because this is not a Green Lantern. This is a different color on the ring spectrum. So like I said, this is kind of a re-release because we've already gotten a version of him, but in a different color costume. And the character that I am talking about is the Gold Label Collection exclusive, McFarlane Store exclusive, Kyle Rayner as a Blue Lantern. When they announced this, part of me got excited and part of me was like, it's a repaint, because we do have this figure already as a Green Lantern. We will show him off here in a second. But when I saw him as a Blue Lantern, I'm like, damn, that's really enticing. I like the Green Lantern universe. We finally get our chance at getting a Blue Lantern. Unfortunately, it is, like I said, a repaint because we did get Kyle Rayner as a Green Lantern already. But now we get him as a Blue Lantern. But I'm going to be honest, I don't mind it too much. I like the suit. I like the color. I like the shade of blue that they went with. I think it looks dope. The figure itself, like I said, repaints almost the exact same thing, except for the logo, of course, because that is the Blue Lantern logo, and the Green Lantern logo is a little bit different. But we got some little effect pieces, lantern constructs, that's the word I'm looking for, of just some fist punching action. And we got a Blue Lantern down here, and he also comes with a card and a stand to display him in. So we're going to show the figure off. We got a Blue Lantern, Kyle Rayner, and this is from the War of the Green Lantern story. On top, we got nothing. Bottom, boring stuff. Green Lantern and all related characters are trademarked to DC. I did not notice this, but if you want to scan the QR code, you are more than welcome. I'm trying to get it as still as possible. Maybe pause the video, that might be best. But I think that is a nice clear shot. Dive into an ever-expanding world of 25,000 plus digital comics. So cool. I don't know what you'll get with that, but if you get anything, let me know. And on the back, we got a nice shot of Kyle Rayner as a Blue Lantern. I actually like this quite a bit. This is definitely a comic cover. So like I said, it is a repaint, and we will show him off with the Green Lantern version. So here he is. We'll take a closer look. Head sculpt the exact same, just a different color, different symbol. Like I said, boots and stuff are all the same, they're just different colors. I like that we get different accessories. With the Green Lantern, we got the sword, and with the Blue Lantern, we got, you know, the fist punching stuff. I would have liked more of like an actual item, whether it be like a battle axe or a shield, maybe a sword and shield type thing. Just something different than your like punch effects. I think that's kind of like a cop-out type accessory, in my opinion. But yeah, here he is, and I think he looks good. The only thing I'm not really a fan of, and I know it's going to be such a dumb complaint, where if we look at the Green Lantern, the green kind of dips a little bit below the hips, kind of in the pelvis region, where with the Blue Lantern, they cut it off at the waist. I would have added a little bit to the lower half of Kyle Rayner. So I would have liked that, just a small little thing, but that's just me. And like I said, this is another addition to my Lantern collection. So far, we only had the Green Lantern. We had John Stewart, Hal Jordan, and Kyle Rayner. And then, during the same wave as this Kyle Rayner, we got Black Lanterns. So we got Deathstorm here, representing the Black Lanterns. And if you get all the pieces, you get to build Atrocitus, who is a Red Lantern, and I do have everyone who's in the wave. So technically, I do have Atrocitus. He's just in 4 different boxes, but technically, I do have a Red Lantern, and now I have a Blue Lantern to go along with it. So that is pretty cool. Can't wait to get ourselves Orange with Larfleeze. He'd be the only one because, you know, he's selfish. That's the whole power of the Orange Lantern. They're selfish. And he's the only one. Maybe a Star Sapphire, maybe an Indigo Corpse. You know, now that we got Kyle Rayner here as kind of a repaint with the as the Blue Lantern, maybe we can see a John Stewart repaint as an Indigo Lantern. After we got this, I could definitely see that happening with John Stewart, which I'm not going to mind. And the biggest want for me personally, and I think a lot of people out there as well, give us a Sinestro already. Come on, what are you waiting for? Give us Sinestro. Give us our first member of the Yellow Lanterns, the Sinestro Corps. We're building out that Lantern world. Unfortunately, you know, this is a repeat of this character. I would have liked it to have been Saint Walker. Who else is a memorable Blue Lantern? The elephant, I'm not sure his name, but he would have been cool. But the fact that we even got a Blue Lantern, I think is pretty dope, so I'm pretty happy with that. He's also a White Lantern, so maybe they can repaint this again and give us Kyle Rayner as a White Lantern. I'm not sure if he held any other rings. Those are the 3 I know that he did. But if he did, maybe we might see another repaint coming in. What I would like to see is Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and then they can re-release that as a Red Lantern, and then we have another Red Lantern to join Atrocitus. So it's really cool to see another Lantern Corp added to the collection. Really happy about that, and hopefully we can get one of each team by the end of 2023. Can we do that, McFarlane? Can we chill out on maybe Batman a little bit, and can we get a little more Green Lantern love? Maybe? Please? Come on. Oh, you know what would be cool? I didn't bring it here because I wouldn't have needed it to, but they released a Lex Luthor before, and if we can get that as an Orange Lantern from the Blackest Night series, oh, that would be fucking cool. That would be an easy re-release for them. You know, take the figure, paint it orange, and maybe add one of these lanterns, and boom. Easy re-release for McFarlane. Give us a Lex Luthor Orange Lantern. That would be so fucking cool. So, yeah, really cool to see an addition for each collection. Addition to the Flash family, an addition to the Superman family, an addition to the Green Lantern family. Really cool pickups this month. Really happy about that. Now we are going to be moving on to Marvel Legends. Here we got 4 editions. This was the collection where I got the early pre-orders in. I got 2 early pre-orders in. Like I said, one was for June and one was for May. But they decided to come in March, which I'm not going to complain about. I'm going to complain about one because one was expensive and I wasn't expecting this big of a charge in March. So that kind of sucked. But, you know, I guess I was going to get charged for this regardless. But I was hoping more like April, early May. But, hey, you know what? Shit happens. The first figure I'm going to show off is a figure I was kind of debating about. There is another version of this character that I was more interested in, but getting that version is just absolutely impossible now. If you were to buy it off somebody, you're probably going to pay over $100-$150. Like, it's just a very expensive item. I really want that version of the character, but it's going to be so hard to get that I don't know if I'll ever get it. I mean, I'm sure I will eventually. I decided to go with this version, and the reason I went with this is honestly the retro card. I just really like it. I'm a sucker for the retro cards, but this one just looks so cool. And the figure I'm talking about is the retro card Ghost Rider. Like, this is a cool looking figure. But honestly, it's the retro card for me that really makes this figure. Now, I understand why would you buy just a Ghost Rider without the motorcycle? But like I mentioned, getting the version with the motorcycle, you're going to pay a lot of money. I honestly have not seen too many for sale. I occasionally will check like third-party sellers, maybe an eBay. Oh, I don't really use eBay too much. I use Kijiji, which is kind of like a Facebook marketplace for Canadians. And I would say I almost never see a Ghost Rider with the motorcycle. So I'm just like, you know what? I will get that eventually, hopefully. Maybe they'll do a re-release. I don't know. Like, that would be awesome because I think a lot of people would want that. But we'll have to wait to see. We have just this retro carded one, so we'll take a little look at it. But here we have Ghost Rider. I believe this is the Johnny Blaze version. I don't know if there's any confirmation. Wielding supernatural abilities and weapons from the back of his flaming motorcycle, which doesn't come with. Ghost Rider roams the mortal world as the spirit of vengeance. Okay, so it does not confirm which Ghost Rider. Maybe in the trademark stuff? Alright, I read the little stuff on the bottom. I didn't see any mention of Johnny Blaze, but I believe this is the Johnny Blaze character. There's only 2 Ghost Riders that I believe are the most famous, which is obviously Johnny Blaze, that's number 1, and the second one is Danny Ketch, I believe. I'm not too sure about the other one. I'm more familiar with Johnny Blaze, but I believe this is Johnny Blaze. Someone please confirm it in the comments. But yeah, here he is. I think he looks cool. Cool looking figure. I like the leather jackets. Kind of, yeah, I guess I would say a leather jacket. Obviously the flaming skull. Very iconic look. They have the jaw extended, which looks okay. It's not my favorite. You can see like the spine in the back. The little peg. I'm trying to get it without the glare. I guess maybe I would have wanted it with the closed mouth, but that's not really that big of a deal. In terms of accessories, we got 2 little fire accessories that you would place on his hand. We have the chain, which is just a piece of plastic. It's not actually a chain. Obviously, you can tell because the fire effects are built onto it. We have a turning head, which is not a full-on Ghost Rider head, but this is him turning into the demonic entity known as Ghost Rider. And we have some ungloved hands, which are just skeleton hands that are on fire. So I think it looks really cool. It also comes with a chain already on his chest. But yeah, the retro card I love. Like, I really am a big fan of it. They haven't announced any more retro carded Ghost Rider stuff, which kind of worries me. Part of me thinks it's because of the HasLabs that failed, the Ghost Rider one, where it's like, people don't seem to really want Ghost Rider. Maybe we'll chill back on the Ghost Rider stuff. And I don't really think that's the case. Just people didn't want to pay that much money for a Ghost Rider they weren't familiar with. So that's why I didn't think it was successful. But I think people want more retro carded Ghost Rider stuff. Like I said, the card itself looks beautiful. I don't think we showed it off. We kind of took a look at it, but we'll show it off in great detail. So there we got Marvel Comics, that classic logo. These are the accessories that it comes with. Ghost Rider, his little logo, or font, whatever. Ghost Rider there. Nice little shot of him here. And there it is, Ghost Rider on the bottom. I like that little display there. And that wasn't a fart. That was my elbow rubbing up against the table. So we saw the accessories in the box. Because it is a retro car, there's not really much to show off. But there's the side portion, the top, the other side, the bottom, which has some instructions on how to have fun with this. Obviously, don't eat the small pieces. And here is the back. We already read the synopsis of him, or description, whatever you may. And yeah, just like I said, really a fan of the box. That's what really drew me to this figure. Hopefully we can get some more retro carded Ghost Rider stuff, because for it to just be a one-off, I don't think they would do that. I think there is more in the pipeline. But hopefully they announce it sooner than later. I also brought in a couple other retro cards to kind of show it off with. So the first one, we have Fellow Man on Fire. We got Fantastic Four with the Fantastic Four retro carding. There we go, better displayed. They have some similar effect pieces, the fire effect pieces, but yeah, the retro card stuff just looks awesome. So that's the Fantastic Four. Next we have the Vintage Wave with Black Widow. This only went for 2 waves, so you're probably not too familiar with this one unless you're like really hardcore into Marvel Legends. But this is a cool one. After that, we have the most famous retro carded line, which is Spider-Man, and I brought out Spider-Man 2099 here. And these look awesome together. And then we got two more to show off. We've got the X-Men retro card. We brought in Storm for this. Looks great. I like this Storm a lot in the white suit. And last but not least, on the retro card, this is kind of like a fake retro card one because this one didn't really come displayed like this. But I'm like, you know what? If I'm bringing out all the other retro carded stuff, I'm going to bring this one too. And it's the Marvel Legends repack of Wave 1. Really love the retro carded stuff. Hopefully we get to see some more Ghost Rider because I think there's a lot of fans clamoring for some Ghost Rider characters to be released figure form. And if it comes with this packaging, you have my money. Next edition in the Marvel Legends collection. This is a figure I got on a pretty sweet deal. The website Big Bad Toy Store, which is where I get a lot of my figures from, they are having like a huge clearance section. I was looking for some Marvel Legends figures just to see if there were any on clearance. And there was one, like a steal of a price. So I ended up picking it up there. I believe it is still going for like the really good price, which I'll talk about in a second. But the character I am talking about is the Age of Apocalypse character, X-Man. So I believe Big Bad Toy Store has them at $9 or $10, like a really, really good price. So if you are interested in picking them up, definitely pick them up at Big Bad Toy Store. I've wanted this figure because this is the only version of him. And obviously it's X-Man, and he's from the X-Men. And this gentleman here plays a very pivotal role. He is actually the one to... Oh God, I was gonna speak with confidence, but I'm not too sure. I believe he is the one that ends the storyline Age of Apocalypse. He's kind of the chosen one. For those of you who are unfamiliar with him, this is I guess it's kind of peeling off here. I just noticed when I pressed down here. This is Nathan Gray, who is the son of Cyclops and Jean Grey. And you might be saying, wait a second, they already have a son, and his name is also Nathan, but it's Nathan Summers. But you are wrong, because this guy here, his mom is not Jean Grey. His mom is Madeline Pryor. That's a whole different story, but we'll talk about him later to compare the two sons. I think it looks pretty good. There's not really too many accessories to go with. In terms of accessories for X-Men himself, it's nothing. The only thing it comes with is Build-A-Figure pieces for Sugarman, who we'll show off in a second on the back. But yeah, no extra hands, no blast effect pieces, nothing. So a little disappointing, but because I didn't pay full price, I can't really complain. It's pretty disappointing for people that did pay full price though. But the figure looks good. I really like how it turned out. I love that blast effect piece on the eye. He does have rogue type hair where he's got the brown with the white. I've never read Age of Apocalypse, so I'm not too familiar with him. But I knew I needed to add him to my X-Men collection. But we'll show off the box real quick. So there he is, X-Men, X-Man. There's a nice comic shot of him on the side. On top, Age of Apocalypse. Another shot of him on the side. Boring stuff on the bottom, and on the back, we can see Sugarman here. And this comes with two arms. It comes with a left and a right arm. I was just double checking if it came with like two left arms or two right arms, but it comes with a left and a right. So there he is, looks very disgusting. I believe I mentioned this before as regarding the Age of Apocalypse figures. I'm not buying them at full price. If I can get them for a sweet deal, cool. If not, I'll probably miss out on them. But X-Men here though, I definitely wanted to pick up to add to my collection. And here we see a brief description of him. Nate Gray travels between dimensions armed with astonishing psychic powers that he got from his mother, and I'm not sure if he got anything from his father. It looks like he got a cool optic blast, but maybe just out of one eye, but I believe that has to do more with his psychic powers. The box is a little creased. That's just kind of how it came in the box, which is unfortunate, but you can't really tell from the front. Here's a nice shot of the back. And we'll do a little show off here. So here's one of Cyclops' children. And here is the other. So his mother is Madeline Pryor, who is the Black Goblin? Goblin Queen. Sorry, Goblin Queen. And his mother is actually Jean Grey. Both destined for big things. Obviously, Cable is destined to defeat Apocalypse. And I don't believe he No, that wouldn't work. I don't believe he exists in his timeline. But I think he initiated the Age of Apocalypse, because the Age of Apocalypse was Legion, or maybe it was Bishop. I don't really remember this right now, but Legion went back to kill Professor Xavier and ended up killing him. Or no, he wanted to kill Magneto. Professor Xavier ended up saving Magneto's life. So then that ended up triggering the Age of Apocalypse. If I remember correctly, I believe those are the chain of events. And I believe it was Bishop that had something to do with it. Yeah, just cool to see them together. So, and we'll be seeing Cable again a little bit shortly. The next two items I'm going to be showing off are the pre-orders that came early. Both of these are in the plastic-free packaging, so we're going to have to open them up and check them and make sure everything's good. First one we're going to be showing off is a new wave that released somewhat recently, and this is one of the villains in the wave, and it is the Marvel Avengers villain, Baron von Strucker, part of Hydra, as you can see clearly on the chest. I'm not sure where he ranks. Actually, can we... Oh, they took it out. Oh, that sucks. Because I'm going to be honest, I'm not too familiar with the Baron here. Do they have it anywhere else? I do like this new thing that they implemented on the newer plastic-free packaging figures. Actually, to be honest, I completely forgot. This is my first plastic-free packaging Marvel Legends that's part of a wave. We have gotten other plastic-free packaging Marvel Legends figures before, but all of them were solo releases. This is the first one that's actually part of a wave, so we can kind of see the new box. But here we see the Build-A-Figure. So here it is. It's for the Puff Adder wave. Here it is whited out because this is the figure that we picked up, Baron von Strucker. And he comes with the leg. Comes the left leg here. And we can see the other people in the wave. They don't have any mention of Iron Man, who is also in the wave. I'm guessing because he doesn't come with a piece, but this wave also does come with a, I think it's called Extremis Suit Iron Man. But yeah, this, the back no longer has a description, which I don't know if I like. Actually, I don't like. I'll just say that right now. I'm not really a fan of that because for certain characters, I liked reading the little description, especially for characters I wasn't familiar with, just to kind of get to know that person a little bit. But now it looks like they're completely removing it, which is a little unfortunate. But we can see the accessories in the box. It's supposed to come with these two little effects, which are the same effects that Ghost Rider came with, just in a different color. And here is the Build-A-Figure piece, the right leg of Puff Adder. So we'll take a quick look at the box. So here is the Baron. I keep saying it in an accent, but I don't think it sounds very German. There's a nice comic shot of him, looking extremely messed up. Got the Avenger logo on top. On bottom, plastic-free packaging and some boring stuff. And the back we already saw. So we are going to cut from this side because I'm going to have it displayed like this. So let's open this sucker up. I forgot to show the tape. I apologize. Just to make sure that it is not open. So completely sealed here. Completely sealed here. And is there any other tape? No tape on the bottom. It's only the sides. Okay, so both of them are completely sealed. Now let's release the Baron. We are releasing pure evil here. Oh, I feel one of the bags already slipping. Oh. Okay, got a little stuck there. We got nothing in the box, just to make sure. Nothing in the box. What do we got here? We got instructions, boring stuff. We've got the accessories. Actually, let me unpack everything first, and then we will go from there. We are going to start out with the accessories. We'll start out with the little blast effects that he comes with. Here they are, kind of a purplish, pinkish. I'm not sure his powers. I'm not sure if they're like magical. But obviously he's got some sort of power. And here's the other. So they just kind of wrap around his wrists. And then the other accessory is, of course, the Build-A-Figure piece to Puff Adder. Everything looks good, nice and smooth. I like it. Pretty simple looking leg, nothing too crazy. And then last but not least, we have I keep on calling him a doctor, but we got the Baron. Okay, I was just double checking because he comes with a monocle here, and I was just double checking the box to see if he came with a monocle. And if you look closely, he does. And he does, I guess he does have one displayed there. I guess you can't really tell there because his face is kind of tilted. Whatever, wasn't really expecting that. But yeah, nice little monocle built into the eye. I like it. His face is pretty gross. I'm assuming the H stands for Hydra. Could be wrong, but this is kind of my big clue here. Let me just move that bag. And we'll just kind of test out the joints real quick. Ankles look good. Move those up and down. Swivel. That one was a little stiff, broke it in. These are a little hard. Cool. Always got to do the split check. And his splits go about that much. Do they have drop-down hips? These ones do not, so splits about that much, but I'm assuming you can do a full kind of sit pose. There we go. Not limited at all. Swivel. Ab crunch. We got the shoulders. Elbow. The hands. And let's check this hand here with this special magical glove. I'm not too familiar with this glove. If someone could please provide what this is or what this is supposed to be. If maybe Red Skull is supposed to be Red Skull. Is he supposed to be the Red Hand? The Red Gauntlet? Was that his original name? Okay. Yeah, joints seem to be good. I'm happy to report. And let's check the most important one, his head. It does swivel and goes up and down. All right, perfect. Looks like it's good. We got a good figure here. His teeth look kind of weird. Like it looks like he just got dentures. I don't know if they were painted on weird or whatnot, but I don't know. It just looks very jarring. But yeah, very scarred up face. Looks like he could be a deathmatch wrestler. I did bring in some fellow Hydra members. So first off, we've got Madam Hydra, and we've got their assassin, Crossbones. I don't have a Red Skull, and I'm not sure of any other Hydra members, so these are the only ones I knew for sure. Actually, we can bring Captain America, who I completely forgot about, to save the day and defeat the evil Hydra. We'll do a comparison with Baron and Cap in a second, but here is just a little Hydra mini group together. And here is America's favorite superhero taking on the evil Baron of Hydra. Damn you, Mr. Rogers. We froze you in ice before, and now we froze you in some plastic. Ha 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 ha. What an evil plan. What an evil man he is. Didn't have any expectations going into it, so I'm pretty fine with it. Obviously, green and yellow, those are the colors of Hydra, and I think he wears them well. No little paint mishaps on my figure. I got a pretty clean figure. Whoops, as I say that, got a little bit of black marks here on his shoulder, on the back of his shoulder, right here. But I don't think that's too big of a deal. I got a good one. Sometimes you get a bad one. I've seen them in firsthand, me personally. I've been pretty lucky with the Marvel Legends. The only things I've had issues with are just joints. In terms of paint apps, I've been pretty clean, so this is a pretty good figure. I like how this turned out, and he'll make a nice addition to my Avengers of Villains collection, so really happy about this one. So give me a second, let me clean up. Actually, you know what, let me attach one of his stupid accessories. I don't want to say stupid, but these aren't my favorite. So here we have some power emanating from the glove. Ooh, what can he do with this glove? Can he snap and make the world disappear? Probably not. But in terms of people with one cool glove, he ranks at a solid number 2. I'm going to put everything away because this next figure that I'm going to be opening up, or figures, is going to be requiring a lot of space. So give me 1 second to clean up. It is the 5-pack of X-Men I'm going to try and back this up as much as I can to get it in frame. Only a little bit is getting cut off, I will show. So here it is. I'm going to be honest, I really love this thing. I think it looks awesome. I'm very excited to open this because out of all the kind of multi-figure packs we've gotten so far, Life Foundation one with Venom, Ultimate Spider-Man one that came with the 4 villains, this one is the first time where I don't have any of these figures. With the other ones, I had a Venom already, and the Spider-Man one, I already had a Symbiote Spider-Man, but with this one, I don't have any of these characters. The only figure from this pack that has had a solo release is Strife in the center, but everyone else, this is the first time they're appearing, I believe. I know for sure Random and Zero. As far as Vertigo and Pretty Boy, I'm very confident they haven't been released yet, but maybe there was a stealth release that I wasn't familiar with. First and foremost, you gotta love that packaging. It does look awesome. Like, I gotta say, I really like the art style and just the way everyone's posed, just a very menacing look, and it just looks awesome. Really, I really do like it a lot. We will take a look at the box. So here in the corner, I'm going to kind of tilt it because it is too big for the frame. So in the corner here, we have all the faces of the characters here. You got Marvel Legends series, Marvel Legends 2023, X-Men 60. That's because it's the 60th anniversary. For a second, I was like, oh, maybe this was the 60th issue in this X-Men series, but no, it's, I don't know if they mention, oh, here it is, 60 years of X-Men, so that's what the 60 stands for here. And we get a nice shot of Vertigo, Pretty Boy, Strife, dead center, you can't miss him. We got Random, and we got Zero. And I'm assuming this is the artist that made it, KWC. Not too sure who that is, but shout out to you. You did a killer job here. And on the side, we have everyone in a side profile. We've got Vertigo, which you can't really see, Pretty Boy, Strife, Random, and Zero at the bottom. Here's a nice shot of Vertigo. I mean, we will be having her in hand, but just showing off the box. Showed off the top already. Bottom, boring stuff. On the side, it is the exact same thing, but instead of the portraits of the figures, we get the kind of comic accurate shots that are on the front cover. So again, Vertigo, Pretty Boy, Strife, Random, and Zero. And on the back, we get a little breakdown of everybody. So Random doesn't look like he comes with any accessories. I'm assuming maybe he comes with a different hand for this, but it's also possible he doesn't come with anything. Zero comes with a little teleporting piece and some extra hands. Pretty Boy comes with quite a bit of stuff. He comes with 2 guns, bunch of accessories for it, and some gun holding hands. Vertigo comes with some different hands, and Strife comes with also some different hands. So let's crack this bad boy open. I'm probably going to open from the bottom. Let's make sure it's sealed. Sorry, I keep forgetting that part. But on the bottom, it is sealed. Tape has not been cracked. And the only other place is on top, and that has not been cracked as well. So let's open this bad boy. It's a pretty random one because I don't think all 5 of these characters have ever grouped up. I could be wrong, but honestly, the cool thing about it is, as an X-Men fan, just getting 5 characters that I don't have already is just really cool. So let's pull this bad boy out. Okay, everyone's pretty compact. Okay, I was expecting a bigger box inside. We got nothing. So let's put this away for now. And yeah, everyone comes pretty put together in here. I'm assuming there's like 2 figures in here. I think that one's just random. And here, this comes out, and here is everybody else. So I guess this is Strife. He's probably the biggest one. Then Random, Zero, Pretty Boy, and Vertigo. So let's take out all the little baggies. Boom. You. No little baggies for you. And then these guys, I believe this just lifts up. Okay, cool. It's like a nice little seatbelt. Just, all right, kids, we've arrived at our destination. All right. Oh, yeah, Strife is massive. I forgot the cape. So here is the packaging. I don't believe there's anything in here. I also don't want to open it because then I'll fucking destroy this whole thing. But there is the back. So, oh, where the fuck? Oh, this is just a little leg holder. Okay, that's fine. All right, let me unpack stuff. We're going to remove this. This is the little portal thing. We might actually start with Zero because he is a pretty plain looking guy. So yeah, let's start with Zero first. Let me get him situated. All right, we got everything unpacked for Zero. So first, let's take a look at his hands. The extra hands that he comes with are just kind of karate chop hands or running hands, however you want to display him with. I guess it's more karate chop with the thumb folded in. Just boop, judo chop, and then the guy just passes out. Whoops. So nothing really much to say about those. And then we got the portal piece, which I believe is his power, just judging by the giant circles on his face and chest. This must have been the easiest figure that they ever made. Just a white guy. I don't like no paint whatsoever. Literally just all white, and we're just going to draw a dumb circle on his face and chest. We'll talk about him in a second, but here we have the portal piece. I'm assuming this would be the front because we have the little black detail here. But yeah, here it is. I've seen this piece come with a Doctor Strange. I believe it was the Doctor Strange movie figure for the Multiverse of Madness. You can put it the other way, but it does have nothing here. So obviously to display this in the front. The bottom is hollow. Just pointing that out. And yeah, little teleporter thing. We'll show that off in a second. And then we have the man himself, or thing. Maybe he's non-binary. Not sure his pronouns. I'm not too familiar with him. I don't know if I've ever read anything with him in a comic. Just testing out the joints here. Shoulder's good. Elbow, double jointed. Wrist. You got the neck up and down. You can look all the way up. It's kind of weird. It's like he's looking into your soul. Alright, here's the chest. Little ab crunch. The waist. Boom. You can make them, you know, do stuff with that ab crunch. I see it lifting a little bit when I pull back. Just pointing that out. Maybe to be careful if you do have this figure or thinking about getting it. Let's do the split test. His splits are pretty halted as well. It's about the same as Baron von Strucker. Same exact joints as the Baron. So just quickly going through this. Because it is a pretty plain looking figure. Like there's honestly not much to say. I will change out one of his hands. But it looks cool. Like I'm not too familiar with him. But here he is. Zero reporting for duty. Maybe he'll open his own teleportation service. Oh no, flights have been canceled. Oh, don't worry. Take Zero's teleportation. Safety not guaranteed. You might end up in Bermuda, and you might end up in the Pacific Ocean. You never know. But here he is reporting for duty. Captain Zero. But let's pose him with his little teleporter. There he is. Aye, aye, Captain. All aboard the magical teleporter that will take you to wherever you want to go. Narnia, New Mexico, any planet. Pluto. It's not a planet, but, you know, he might take you there. As far as the figure itself, I can't really complain. The paint apps are good. It's just white paint and 2 black circles, so you can't really fuck that up. Yeah, this is Zero. Nice to meet you. The next one I got here is Vertigo. We're just going to show off her accessories real quick, which are just fighting hands, some fisted hands here. I've got to say, these are small hands. Like, these things are tiny compared to Zero's hands. Look how small this thing is. You would think Vertigo was a little girl, but no, it's just she's a fully grown woman, but just the smallest hands. I have not felt hands this small. These things are tiny. I think they're about the size of my fingernail, just about. I feel like I'm going to lose them if I'm not careful. Just super, super tiny. But yeah, here we have the left and right, and we have the lady herself, Vertigo, looking really good. I like the white and green on her. I like the hair, the face sculpt. I think it all looks pretty sweet. Chest feels a little tight. We'll do the split test here. Got some pretty good splits going on. Honestly, I'm very surprised they did not give her any power accessories. This is the type of character, those little ring effects. I was just checking if any of the characters I had them, but yeah, just the little ring effects that they give with, it seems like everybody. Would have been perfect for her in a green color, obviously, but the fact she doesn't come with any accessories is kind of disappointing, to be honest. I mean, she does get fisted hands, which are cool. Not really, because honestly, this would be her using her powers, just kind of pointing out at you and the spinning and giving you vertigo. And as you can see, the designs, they're kind of swooshy, swirly designs going on. It kind of looks like swirly designs, and then on the back, just kind of like, well, yeah, whatever. I think she looks good here. And I guess we'll change out one of her hands. We'll change out this hand. Make sure I don't lose this. And make sure I put it in the right hand. So here he is. Or here she is. I apologize. With a fisted hand. Ready to give you a knuckle sandwich. And ready to beat up somebody. Be like, yo, where are my accessories, man? I'm ready to give somebody a piece of my mind. Next on the list, we've got Pretty Boy. For what Vertigo lacks in accessories, he makes up for. So we've got, let's show off the hands real quick. Robo hands, because he is Robo. He is a cybernetic dude. 2 different pistols. And obviously they would fit in his hand. This one has an extended mag. And this one is just a regular pistol. Some pew-pew, some bullets, some laser bullets, some green bullets. And there they are. There's one. And then the other effect he comes with is smoking effects, which he would put in the barrel after he shot at bullets. So that's what it would look like. Not bad. And then we got the man of the hour himself. The prettiest of them all? Not sure. But here he is, Pretty Boy. And he feels extremely weird. Obviously, he's got a very skinny body, very C-3PO-esque. I'm almost afraid to, like, mess around with it. It just seems very fragile. Like, he doesn't have a lot of beef to him, especially the chest piece. Obviously, look at the waist. Very skinny waist. We've got thigh swivel. Okay, interesting. He mastered the splits. He can Jean-Claude Van Damme this. We'll do the sit test. He can do that as well. Face we'll talk about in a second. Let's just check out the articulation first. Double jointed knees. Yep, there they are. And boot cuts, no, but he does have some joints in the foot. Side to side and up and down. Alright, and then the upper torso. Just the waist is freaking me out. That's about it as far back as you can go on him. You can hear it. So there is a little bit of an ab crunch. Shoulders up and down. Double jointed elbows. And that feels snug. Holy shit. Let's pop one hand out. Pop in a other hand. There we go. There, it spins nicely. Very pretty looking guy. I've seen a lot of people compare him to Ash from Evil Dead, which I can definitely see that comparison. Definitely looks like Bruce Campbell. Actually, looks like Bruce Campbell quite a bit, to be honest. But yeah, hair looks nice. I think the face sculpt looks nice. The body, it feels weird in my hands just because I'm not used to having this style. The only thing similar I have would be the Silvermane, and I'm not even sure if it was similar to this one, but yeah, here he is, and then we'll pop a gun in one hand. There he is, just committed a murder, shot somebody, and now he's going to TP away in Zero's teleporter, and he's going to get away with it. Looks good. I actually like this one quite a bit. I was kind of worried about the body, but I don't mind it too much. It's interesting. All right, next person we got. We only got 2 left, but honestly, I don't know who to save for last because these are the 2 characters I'm most excited for. I think we're going to go random next. Not random, like, who are we going to pick? I think we're going to go random because I think we're going to save Strife for last because he is supposed to be the big bad of this box set. So we're going to go random next. And here he is out of the packaging. He's got some cardboard holding his arm. I left this on just to kind of display him, just to show that this is how it came. And we're going to take it off. There we go. This is honestly such a weird addition, but I love it. I remember seeing his old figure in the old X-Men packaging. He was one of those guys that was like a shelf warmer, a peg warmer. Just like any toy store you would go into, he would kind of be on the shelf. And just to see him get the Marvel Legends treatment is just super fucking cool. And his arm always looked awesome. Like this gun. Like, look at that. Look how intimidating he looks like that. Like, give me all your money, or I'm going to shoot you in your dick, in your stomach, and in your face. You can take all my money, sir. I don't want any of those. I don't want to get shot once. But it looks like you can take off his jacket if you really want to. I'm just going to see how far I can pull it back. And it does look like you could take it off if you'd like. We are not going to because it looks like it'll be an absolute bitch. Actually, you wouldn't be able to get it through this arm. And the glasses, not removable. They are stuck to the face. Actually, you might be able to. I see a little opening here. I don't know if his eyes are painted or anything, but it looks like you might be able to take it off if you really wanted to. But, yeah, let's just take a look at this guy. Random, that is his name. I like the face sculpt. He's got a nice red bandana. His glasses. He's got some stubble. 5 o'clock shadow. On one arm, he's got a snake tattoo that it wraps around 3 times. I don't know if this wasn't painted or just, you know, that's how it's supposed to be. But a little bit of missing paint here on the snake. And then if we lift the arm up here, the snake still goes around. Double jointed elbows. Bicep swivel. The jacket restricts the movement a little bit, but it just kind of goes up with it. It does bend because the jacket does move and stuff, but the jacket does hinder it a little bit. But that looks as far as it can go up. Got an ab crunch. Nice. And on this arm, we got another tattoo. I feel like this is the type of tattoo a sailor would get. He comes to land, he falls in love, gets a tattoo, and then he goes back out to sea. He just has barbed wire wrapped around his bicep here. That's how hardcore he is. And it is not attached or molded on. So it can go up and down. And for this hand, obviously this is the gun hand. It does not rotate. It is all one piece. So this is just kind of how it comes. And there are no accessories for random, I can confirm. Double check the box. There is nothing. Just checking his back to see if he has any tattoos. Any more tattoos? Any more ink, buddy? I don't think so. Because he seems like the kind of guy to have a big back piece. So no back tattoo. Now let's take a look at the bottom. We got a belt that is movable as well. It's not molded on, so you can adjust it if you like. I'll put it up a little bit. Legs. Oh, was not expecting that from him. That's interesting. If you want to display him like that. Thigh swivel. Nice and smooth. I like it. We got the sit test, and we'll try the split test in a second, but here is him sitting. And the split test, I think it might be pretty good. About average. About what the other guys do, like Baron and stuff. And then we got the double jointed knees. And he's got a little bit of a knee pad here, but there is room to move it. And boot swivel. And the foot. And an ankle joint. I actually really like this a lot. It's such an obscure figure. You know, like I said, it was a peg warmer, at least for me. Whenever I'd go to toy stores, I would see him on the shelf. And to get a Marvel Legends of him is just super cool. I like the boots a lot. I like all these straps. I like the gun. I really like him a lot, honestly. He's awesome. He is probably my favorite. I don't know, Strife is still next, but One of my favorites for sure. This is an awesome figure. Last but not least, the man of the hour leading the pack. We've got Strife. This is how he came in box. There was this piece that came on top. I'm not sure how it's supposed to go. Probably like that, just to kind of protect each little sharp edge on the helmet, which is very appreciative of. He looks awesome. He's got a giant cape, which does not really move too much. It is attached to the upper little shoulder piece here. He's a big looking figure though. Just gonna show him off real quick. A lot of spikes on him. Very spiky dude. But we're gonna show his accessories off before we get to him, which is just 2 hands. Not too much to say. Metallic in color. Not metallic. It does have a shine to it. It matches his suit. This is a very elaborate headpiece. I wonder who designed him. Like his original design. Not who sculpted this. I believe this is a re-release. I know there was a Strife figure before. I'm not sure how much of it is reuse. So in terms of the shoulders here, this chest piece is all one piece that the cape is attached to. And the arm is underneath that for the joint to move up and down, which is pretty cool. That is separate. A little bit of an ab crunch. Ooh, comes forward quite a bit. So there he is. The cape does limit it a little bit. It does just get in the way. And he's got this crotch piece, which is also, I mean, it's kind of soft, but it's not as soft as like some of the other things. So we remove this hand. There he is, looking quite powerful. I don't know, I feel like these are the perfect hands for him. Can't get over the helmet though. The helmet just looks so menacing. Anyways, let's check out the lower half. The waist swivel. There it is. We got the legs. Pretty good movement. I actually was not expecting his legs to go up this much, but as you can see, the crotch piece does come up as well with it. Splits, probably none, just due to this. Actually, quite a bit. Quite good. Not bad. More than I was expecting. Thigh swivel. And of course, he's got some thigh spikes as well. And double jointed knees. And a boot. Maybe a boot swivel? It seems like there's a boot swivel, but it's not. Let's check the other foot. Maybe no boot swivel. It seems like there is. Like, it seems a little bit, but yeah, I guess it makes sense that it doesn't. This figure actually looks pretty freaking cool, I've got to say. And it looks super awesome with Cable. For those of you who don't know, Strife is a evil clone of Cable, and he ended up taking the moniker of Strife, and he is evil. There's a lot of clones in the X-Men universe, and Spider-Man universe too. And we're going to put a group shot up of the whole team. Let me get that set up real quick. Bitch. Here we have the set teleporting in to cause some trouble, maybe looking for the X-Force to fight. Cable? Maybe. Cable's gonna get a group of his own. Hey, that would actually be pretty cool. The next box set of X-Men characters, we get an X-Force set, maybe a Cable, maybe some of those weird characters that are X-Force, like maybe like a Grizzly, I believe his name was, Garrison Kane, G.W. Washington. I think I'm getting those names correct. I could be wrong. I think that could be a fun set, and obviously pose them up against these guys here. Oh, my light died. That is unfortunate. Let me turn on my phone light, which is not as good, but I'm going to stop here in a second just to recharge my light. But yeah, I actually really like this set a lot. Like I said, I did not have any of these figures, so this is all new to my collection, which is pretty awesome. And I think everything turned out well. I like all the characters. Pretty Boy on the far end on the right. Vertigo looks good. Strife looks awesome, especially with that helmet. A little hard to pose. He's kind of in a weird pose. I tried to get him with his hand up, like he's looking for power. And Vertigo had a little bit of trouble standing up, so she's kind of leaned up against Pretty Boy. We got Zero here, ready for duty to teleport anybody in and out, and Random is there to blast anybody's cock, stomach, and face off. Really dope set. And now that I said the X-Force set, I kind of want it with those obscure characters, part of the X-Force. I think that would be awesome. So maybe Marvel Legends team, maybe if this sells well, maybe we'll get an X-Force one. We'll have to wait to see. And if I had to pick my favorite, probably Random. True to his name, the figure himself is a very random addition, but I'm super glad that we have him. Zero, even though he's super simple, I really like his figure a lot too. Strife, I can't say enough good things. Just a lot of detail going into that. Vertigo, I would have liked some effects for her. That would have been the only thing that I think is missing from this set piece. Maybe some blast effects to put in the holes, because you do have the holes here for Random. So if we can get some blast effects in there, that would have been pretty cool. And then obviously the accessories for Vertigo. And Pretty Boy, interesting body. I feel like I have to be super careful when I'm kind of messing with him, especially that waist joint. It doesn't feel loose, but I don't know, it just feels... It doesn't feel fragile or anything. Like, I don't want to make it seem like that, like it's ready to break. It just, I don't really want to kind of mess with it. It just doesn't seem as strong as some of the other figures. So it's just my own caution kind of speaking to me, just to kind of be careful with it. But I do like the robot body. And yeah, everything about it, the packaging, let me pull it out one more time. Super dope cover art, really am a fan of this, just the comic cover issue that it kind of looks like. Looks awesome, really like this set. If you're an X-Men fan and you're kind of looking to collect I don't want to say every X-Men figure, because if you really think about it, there's not really any big X-Men characters in here. The only one I would say is like Strife. And the other ones are like C, D level characters. So this can kind of be a skip for some people. But like for those hardcore X-Men fans like myself, where it's just like, yeah, I just want to kind of get every character and build out that X-Men world, this is going to be a must for you. So really dope set. Really am a fan of this. It's going to be a bitch to pack up, but that's the price you pay to check everything's good. And I will say that everything was good. Quality control. No issues on this one here. All right, next we are going to be jumping into the wrestling figures, and for this, unfortunately, we didn't get any AEW figures this month. It's going to be all WWE stuff, so we're going to be adding some WWE figures that are like Mattel official releases. We're going to be adding some WWE Elite Customs, and we're going to be adding a first time ever thing that I bought to try out, so we're going to be checking that out here in a second. So we're going to start out with the regular releases. The first one that we have here is a somewhat recent release. I believe this is from Elite Wave 98. Could be wrong on the wave number, but I believe it was around there, 97, 98. And it is the newly released. And I got the Chase version, even though I didn't want the Chase version, but we'll talk about that in a second. It is the Boogmeister himself, Rick Boogs, or as he was originally brought in, and I remember his debut quite vividly in NXT as Eric Bugenhagen. There was quite a reaction to when he first debuted on NXT. It's actually his only official NXT match. It was against Drew Gulak. Basically, came out, did his intro. Throughout the whole intro, he did air guitar. He did a whole air guitar special. He killed it, had the match, got absolutely squashed by Drew Gulak. And then when he was leaving the ring, he did like a farewell air guitar solo. It went a little viral. And I was like, oh shit, this is a guy to look out for. He's got a lot of charisma. He eventually made it to the main roster, and he did some stuff with Shinsuke Nakamura. The stuff that he has done on the main roster, I haven't seen too much of. I know he was with Shinsuke for a little bit, and then he ended up getting hurt. Actually, about a year ago, it was around WrestleMania last year. Actually, it was at WrestleMania last year, where it was him and Shinsuke versus the Usos in a tag team title match, and he ended up blowing his quad. I believe it was a quad tear, something leg related, when he tried to lift up both the Usos. So it was unfortunate, but he recently made a return a couple months ago to WWE Raw. Kind of coincides with his official release. So as you can see here, I have the Chase version. This is not what I wanted. I pre-ordered this figure back in November on Amazon. They were having a pre-order early bird deal type thing where if you pre-order the figure before it releases, you get it cheaper basically. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I want this figure. If I can get it for cheaper, that's awesome. So I pre-ordered it, and I thought I was getting the regular release, but they ended up sending me the Chase, which, I'm going to be honest, I'm not really a fan of the Chase as much as I am the regular version. I just find the Chase to be kind of plain. Like, it's just a red gear with R and B on the knee pads, and that's about it. Like, his air guitar is cool, but you get the air guitar no matter what. With the figure, the Chase is just the attire, and his regular release, I'll throw up a picture on screen. It's basically the exact same figure, but instead the deco on the attire is like a jean kind of look. It's like a light blue. I was gonna return it, but I'm like, it's not even worth it. I'm just going to keep my Chase Boogs. Awesome guitar piece. I got to say, this is an excellent accessory piece. And one thing I actually really like about it, we'll talk about Eric Boogs here in a second, it actually stays together. There are times where you get guitars specifically and other items where the pieces do not stay together, but this one sits very well. It does not come apart easily. You actually have to put some pressure. And I really like that a lot, and it can easily fit over his arm. Whoops. I did apply some pressure there, that's why I came off. And because I just finished talking about how sturdy it was, it's like, yeah, well, not really. So you can just pop it over the head here. And boom, he can rock out with Shinsuke. I did not bring Shinsuke, I should have, and kind of pose them together. But here he is. Awesome accessory, like I said. So we'll set this out. We'll talk about the figure himself. I think it looks good. It looks jacked. It looks like him. There is one thing I'm not really a fan of, and that's the singlet. This is the same singlet that The Undertaker came with. I believe it was the last episode that we had that, WCW Tag Title Taker, where he came with the rubber vest piece, and you can kind of drape it down. After messing around with it on The Undertaker, I was like, oh, you know, it's cool and whatnot, but I don't know if I like it. And then they put it on the Boogs, and I'm like, I think I don't like it. I think I prefer either a cloth good or just molded on, to be honest. But there it is, taken down. And you can put it back up the exact same way. Just with the rubber, you got to be careful not to stretch it too far, because then it'll start to crack, and then you have no more chest piece. So got to be careful with that. But we'll just take a quick look. Standard Mattel articulation. The shoulders, head swivels. Also, the ponytail does come out if you want to kind of reenact his more modern look, where he doesn't have the ponytail anymore. He's got a more of kind of a similar look, but he's got the sides shaved. And there is a giant hole in his head if you do take the ponytail out, but you can easily pop it back in. It'll actually stay. So, in case you're afraid of the ponytail not sticking in, similar to the guitar, they are very sturdy. They did a good job here. Also, his tattoos here, he doesn't have any other tattoos anywhere on his body. The only one is his chest piece here. Double jointed elbows, wrist, ab crunch, waist. I think I showed off the neck. There's the neck. We got the sit test. We got the split test. Very flexible man. The knees. This is double jointed, right? What the fuck? Okay, this one I think is a little stiff. Yeah, this one doesn't want to bend. This one does, though. This one I would have to run through some hot water. But, yeah, applying a lot of pressure there. It doesn't want to move. It looks like the boot wants to pop out here. Not sure why that is. But I can kind of pop it back in. But just a little thing there. Boot swivel there. Actually, it does the same thing on this one. It looks like it wants to come out. I guess that's just the way the boot is on the shin. And then, of course, the ankle piece. So, good figure. I actually like this one quite a bit. Unfortunately, like I said, I did get the Chase and not the regular release. But not too big of a deal. But cool release. Big fan of this one. The next few figures I'm going to show off are all WWE Elite style, and these next few figures I actually bought from someone. They were selling off their collection, and they were fucking just basically giving away some of these things for free. It seemed, not giving it away for free, but with the price, it was extremely enticing. I ended up picking up 4 figures from him. All of them actually come with title belts. That was not something that was planned. It just kind of happened. The first guy I'm going to show off, a little bit of a controversial pick. Been accused of some pretty heinous things, but I'm happy to say I didn't buy it for the figure himself. But the figure I am talking about is the Velveteen Dream and the NA title, the NXT North American title. And I'm going to be very honest, I mainly bought it for this title. We'll talk about Dream in a second. I don't want him to be the showcase of this. This North American title, like for the price that this guy was selling these figures for, they were in box mints. It was an absolute steal. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to grab this. This is a title I don't have. I'm going to be honest, when they first debuted the North American title, I was like, that thing is fucking hideous. And over time, it has slowly grown on me. The brown leather for the strap is kind of like, ugh, at first, but then that with the gold, I think it actually looks really good. This is honestly one of the better Mattel belts that they've put out. And it looks absolutely incredible. I like the detail that they put into it. I like the little button straps that they painted on, the little leather markings on the side. The title itself looks good, the North American Championship. And we'll show off the back. Back's got nothing. It's just plain brown with no design. But yeah, this is a nice looking title. And they haven't released too many figures to get this title. The only one I can think of is this Velveteen Dream. I think there might have been an Adam Cole figure that also came with this. I think those are the only 2. There's not a lot of opportunity to get this title, so when I had the opportunity here, and I get a figure as well, but I actually already have the other WWE Elite Velveteen Dream. We'll talk about him in a second. But to pass up getting this title for the price it was going for, it was just an absolute steal, even if it was just for the title. So here it is. We will show it off in just a second, but we're just going to put it away for now. We'll talk about Velveteen Dream here. Like I said, he's been accused of some pretty heinous things, so we're going to keep this quite short. And like I said, I did not buy it for the figure himself. I already have a Velveteen Dream. He has 2 WWE Elite releases, and these are both of them. This was the first one that came out, this in the purple attire, and this was the second one later. We can pose this one, the North American title, and he looks pretty good with it. I do like this fluffy jacket that he came with. There he is with the North American title, but this is not about this. We'll focus on this one. It looks okay. I don't know if he wrestled in this. This doesn't seem like a real wrestling attire. This seems more of a host a talk show segment of some sort. The glasses do come off. Well, they're kind of tucked behind the headbands, so they're pretty in there. So come out. Thank you. It is the exact same head as the first one. The hair, I believe, it's the same as well. You can see the little cuts on the side. I'm not sure if this comes off. I think it does. It does, if you want to take it off. I didn't really mess around with the figure. I basically just got it for the belt and kind of ignored this. This little design here is supposed to be kind of like a lace. It looks a little weird, like it's on his actual chest, but yeah, it's supposed to be a lace piece. Not too much to say. Like I said, the figure was not the star of the show here. So here he is, and here's his other release. The only thing that's new is this. This I already had in my collection, but there they are together. And thought it'd be fun to bring in the current NXT North American Champion Wesley and have him hold the title. And he's going to be defending it in a big match here coming up at Stand and Deliver. By the time you're seeing this, he probably either won or lost, so either congratulations or that sucks. But yeah, title looks good on him. And I'm going to be honest, when he even won the title, I was very surprised. But shout out to Wesley. The next figure I bought off the same gentleman, it's 4 figures in total, so that was the first one. The next one is a figure that I've seen before and I had a couple opportunities to buy. And I just kind of put it off. I really didn't know if I want to get it because I'm more of like a wrestling attire kind of guy, where if it comes in like a suit or something, or like jeans, a dress shirt, whatever the case may be, I'm not really into that. That's not really my thing. I want the wrestling attire. That's what I prefer. But when I saw this figure, I was just like, damn, I think I need to add this to my collection. And like I said, the guy was giving it for a good price. So I'm like, you know what? How can I say no? And the figure that I am talking about is the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and he is in a suit. He's in his $1 million suit. I would assume it was $1 million, just to kind of be on brand. And he also comes with the $1 Million Championship, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, this figure I think looks pretty good. Here he is. That head sculpt is good. He actually comes with 2 head sculpts. I put this one on, but he also comes with this one, where he's very snarky. We'll pop it on as well, but I think I prefer this one. Second head is on. There he is, looking very snarky. Yeah, I think compared between the two, I think you gotta go with the screaming head. And I'm not even really a screaming head kind of guy. I just feel like it fits the $1 Million Man, though. Although I think I do like the hair more on this one. I like the expression of the yelling on this one. But yeah, here he is. So the one thing I don't like is these shoes. It looks pretty weird with this whole attire, where he's wearing this really fancy suit and he's just got sneakers. I'm sure he wore this like in some segment of some sort, but I don't recall because it was before my time. But it just kind of seems weird that it wasn't dress shoes. Maybe it's supposed to be wrestling boots. I'm not too sure. But it just looks kind of weird with the whole getup. One thing that actually happened to me when I was kind of messing around with this figure and testing the articulation was this popped out. This is actually supposed to stay in here and be sealed, but I was messing around with the articulation, kind of bending the, twisting the hips. Yeah, it just popped out, and now I can't put it back. So we can take off his jacket, but like I said, you're not supposed to be able to do this. A little flimsy, but what are you going to do? He's got a little bit, he's got a lot of scuffs on his back. Jesus. I was expecting maybe like a couple of black ones, but when I saw the gold ones here, I was like, whoa. There's quite a few, sir. There he is, jacketless. Looking extremely weird, but, you know, it is what it is. We're going to pop his jacket back on because he's a little cold. It's unfortunate about this little thing. It really was not in there by much. Like, there was not much glue in here holding it still. So it's unfortunate, but it happened. And, of course, he comes with the $1 Million Championship, which is an alright looking title. It's a little bit flat. It's not shiny like the North American title. North American title, very shiny. You see that shine? Ooh, it's blinding. And then the flat $1 Million Championship, which is a little disappointing because it is a $1 Million Championship, and it looks like a $10 championship. Looking very dapper. And yeah, I don't know. I just felt like I should pick this up. And I actually got a friend for him. It is not Virgil, and it is not the IRS. It is a more recent friend of his. It is Mr. Cameron Grimes to the moon. Whoops. And this was a fun pairing. I was going to say about a year ago, but I think it was actually a little more. It was when LA Knight was still on NXT. But yeah, fun pairing. So I really like this one. Continuing on with the figures that I bought off this guy. Also a big legend. Similar to Ted DiBiase, we have the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby. Here he is. He also comes with this WCW World Heavyweight Championship or the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, whichever one you want to call it. We'll talk about that in a second. I've been wanting to get a Dusty Rhodes for a while now. There's a couple different options, and I was kind of looking at all of them, and I felt like this was the best Dusty Rhodes figure out of all the ones that are out there. I just think this is kind of Dusty. Like, when I think of Dusty, this is what I think of. And he comes with the elbow pad, so he can drop the bionic elbow, if you will. It's just fun talking like Dusty. He's got a very distinct accent. The American Dream, baby. American Dream. Well, you know, he's got a lisp, so he can't really pronounce his R's. But it's Dusty Rhodes, baby. And like I said, this is another guy who is before my time, but he has cut some very memorable promos. And just a very memorable person. He comes with a bunch of accessories. So the championship was won. We'll show it off real quick, even though we've seen this before. There it is, the big shiny gold championship. Looking pretty good. Just your regular Mattel style belt. He also comes with 3 other accessories. He comes with some glasses. Some sunglasses, which don't really fit on his head because his hair. So it's kind of a weird accessory. Because, like, you get it on, like, one side, but then it doesn't sit well. It's hard. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass. He also comes with a baseball cap, which also doesn't really fit on his head. He's got a very big head. He's a very big gentleman. And they did not really give bigger items. So, yeah, this doesn't really fit on his head either, but this also comes with it. And he also comes with a shirt. And this is another thing that doesn't really fit on him. So we'll try. I'll show it off. It's always cool to get those cloth good shirts, but yeah, it does not fit on him. And it's even extra hard because it gets stuck on the elbow pad here. So then you got to like slowly rake it up on all sides, and a little bit of a nuisance just for it not to fucking fit on him. Give me a second. I actually managed to get it on. It looks a little weird because he's got a couple chins that go over the shirt, but that's just how it goes. Very snug, though. I had to really stretch to get the Velcro to hook on. Bit of a mission, but I actually managed to get everything on. Got the hat, got the glasses, got the championship belt, and of course the cloth shirt. So here he is with all the accessories in tow. A little bit of a mission, but we got him on. So there he is. And I actually brought a couple friends to join him here. We've got his son, the American Nightmare, and the natural Dustin Rhodes. Yes, the family is complete together. This is another reason why I wanted a Dusty, was to get I already had the Dustin, I already had the Cody, and now I got the Dusty to complete the Rhodes family. So this is a really cool one as well. So really happy to have Dusty in the collection finally, and he can join his sons, Cody and Dustin. Nice little look at the Rhodes family. Don't mind Cody's fucked up lip. This was wave 1 of the AEW figures when they really, really botched it, and they absolutely fucked up the lips printing on. And the last figure I bought from this guy, and probably the one I was most excited about, this was another figure that I had a couple opportunities to buy, and I just put it off. I was just like, you know what? I don't really want this. I don't really want this figure. If I want it, it's for one reason, and that is the one reason I bought it here. And again, the guy was selling it for such a fucking cheap price. I was like, all right, buddy, you don't have to twist my arm. I will take it. And it is a ringside exclusive WWE Elite ECW figure. We've got Matt Hardy with the newer WWE ECW title, which came near the end of its life. We'll talk about the title in a second. But here we have Matt Hardy. This is actually a pretty good looking Matt Hardy, to be honest. I actually like it quite a bit. From his time, I believe it was 2008. He also comes with an ECW microphone. We'll put that to the side here. And the figure looks good. He comes with a ponytail head. He doesn't come with another head with long hair. This is it. And he just comes with a plain black shirt that you can take off if you'd like. You just gotta take the sides off. Boom. And you can just easily pop it off, and then you got Matt Hardy here. But the real reason I bought this figure was for this title. Yeah, I was looking at the figure that the guy was selling, and I'm like, man, this title is actually pretty rare. This is the only figure you can get to get this title. I don't know if they'll ever release this again, so I'm like, you know what? Let me grab this. I feel like I'm one of the few people that actually liked WWE's ECW. I knew it was never going to be what it was, what people wanted it to be. But even later, when it was kind of like a developmental, where they would bring up guys like Sheamus, Matt Sydal, or Evan Bourne, Kofi Kingston, CM Punk, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins. A lot of guys actually came up through there. This was the second incarnation of the ECW title. Before, it was this bad boy. And they were like, you know what? We want to erase every single possible memory of the original ECW, so we're going to take it away, and we're going to create our own. And they made it this ugly silver. This was a time when they were making just ugly titles. You had this. You had the butterfly title, the women's butterfly title. You had the... They shortly introduced the penny tag team titles after that. It was a bad time in WWE for titles, but yeah, this is the only way you can get this title, so we'll show it off real quick. Just your typical Mattel belts, straps in the back, the little holes and stuff. We'll take a nice look at the title. World Wrestling Entertainment, ECW Champion. It's not even a World Champion, it's just you're the ECW Champion. We have the ECW logo on the side plate here. There it is. Then the WWE logo, and then the main face plate, and then the rinse and repeat on the other side. And on the back, we'll pose Matt Hardy with it. Yeah, this is a pretty rare title, to be honest. So I'm glad I can finally add it to my collection. I guess add it to my ECW collection. Actually, you know what? Fuck this belt. We'll pose Matt with the real ECW title. I'm not sure if he won this one. I'm not sure when this transitioned into this. Not the best looking belt, but for historical reasons, I had to add it to my collection. So I'm glad I finally have it. And here we have Matt with the real ECW World Heavyweight Championship. So there it is. But this is not new. This is already in my collection. I already actually have a Matt Hardy. The Matt Hardy that I have is the Delete version, where this is a very younger version of him. And this is the Matt Hardy in my collection. Delete, delete, delete. He's obviously referring to this title. Delete it. And here's a little comparison between the two. I think it's very similar. I think it might be a repaint. I think it is a repaint. It's got the little pocket here. The belt looks the same. These little dots here are not textured. They are painted on. So I believe this is the same pair of pants. I think this happened in 2018, 2019, and this was like 2008, 2009. So almost 10-year difference. Goddamn, Matt. A lot of shit happened. But they can both delete this ugly ECW title. So that is really cool. But yeah, I actually really like this Matt Hardy. And as bad as this title looks, I'm glad I can have it in my collection. We are going to be jumping into the customs now. Got a lot of cool customs. The first two I'm going to show off, I bought off some guy. We talked about him in the last episode, and his name is Too Sweet Customs. In case you didn't watch the last episode, you can go check it out, and we bought two figures off him as well. We bought a Jimmy Wang Yang and an Orlando Jordan. So like I said, if you missed that, go check it out. And he put up another Instagram post saying that he was selling some of his customs, and I was like, oh, let me check it out. And I saw two that really piqued my interest, and I ended up picking them up. And the two that I am talking about are a tag team that I think really had it all. They had a good gimmick, in my opinion. They had a good entrance, good actual entrance, good entrance song. They had the girl. They had a good look. It just kind of fell apart. But the people that I am talking about are Deuce and Domino. Yeah. Like I said, I think they kind of dropped the ball on Deuce and Domino. I really like the greaser gimmick. Maybe these weren't the two best guys to do that gimmick, but I thought they had some fun tag team matches with Paul London and Brian Kendrick. They actually ended Brian Kendrick and Paul London's really long reign as tag team champions. Actually brought the tag team title that they won. Here it is. This is the basically the SmackDown tag team titles at the time. They ended up renaming them to the WWE. You had the WWE tag team titles and then the World tag team titles. It was just really confusing, where now it's okay, we got the Raw tag titles, we got the SmackDown tag titles. But yeah, here they are. This is Deuce. This is the son of Jimmy Snuka. You also might know him as the guy that almost killed The Undertaker. We'll talk about him in a second. And then we have Domino, or who I think more people know him as, Cliff Compton. He went viral a couple years back where he was on Colt Cabana's podcast. And he talked about his trip to Nigeria to wrestle the Great Power Udi. That is a great podcast if you have not listened to it. Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling. He had Cliff Compton on. He might have titled it as Domino. Just type in Cliff Compton, Nigeria, Art of Wrestling. Find the podcast. It's hilarious. Highly, highly recommend. Great listen, great story. But yeah, here we have Cliff Compton, or Domino. I'll just call him Domino for now, because that was the gimmick. I only have one of these tag titles, so that's why I'm doing it one at a time. We will talk about Domino first, Cliff Compton. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about Deuce. We'll talk about Cliff Compton in a second, because this figure is a little more elaborate. Like I said, this is a custom figure, and I think it looks pretty sweet. So the heads on both of them are taken from the Jakks Pacific versions and put onto an Elite body, and obviously the rest of the body is Elite. You got the shirt. I was trying to figure out who had this shirt, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I think it looks good. I know the pants are Dean Ambrose. He ended up just painting it black. As you can see here, we see the blue jeans. These are the same jeans that Jimmy Wang Yang had. And it fits. I'm not complaining or anything. And yeah, here it is. He's got full articulation, which is good, unlike Orlando and Jimmy from last time. Nothing stiff, and you can move the head. So, looks good. So yeah, anyways, I mentioned how he almost killed The Undertaker. The career of Deuce is a little sad. So, again, he was part of Deuce and Domino as a tag team. It ended up fizzling out quite quickly. And then I believe he joined Legacy, which was Randy Orton's group of second-generation superstars. Obviously, he was the son of Jimmy the Superfly Snuka. So, he was a perfect fit for that team. But compared to everyone else, he sucked. And the gear that he wore when he switched to being in the Legacy, it looked fucking terrible. I think it was just like a black singlet or something like that with like a shirt. It just looked bad. It looked like a jobber pretty much. Anyways, he ended up getting kicked out of Legacy and then shortly fired from WWE, and I don't believe he ever wrestled again. He might have done some stuff on the indies. As far as like mainstream wrestling stuff, he pretty much disappeared. So short but memorable. And then we got Cliff Compton here, or Domino, or Super Domino, if you watched the Nigeria story. Like I said, really funny story. Go check it out. This one I showed off last because there's a little bit extra that went into this Too Sweet Customs, whose Instagram I will link in the description, so you can go check out his Instagram page. So use similar arms here, and then for this piece, the torso, he ended up molding some extra stuff, as you can see. Molded extra stuff because no one else had this V-neck, so he ended up creating it himself, and he added extra putty of some sort, and as you can see here, added it onto the back. I'm not complaining about this, I'm just showing it off, just mentioning it, but yeah, he molded this onto the back, and I think it looks pretty good. It looks pretty clean. It's honestly not too bad. I think it's pretty good. It's honestly like really good, like for what you can do with this. And it's his exact same legs as, oh, he's got a little paint scuff here. That's unfortunate. I'm not going to scratch it off because then I'll scratch the black paint and then we'll get the blue paint. But same thing as Deuce, where it is the Dean Ambrose jeans and they are painted black because that's what they wrestled in, white shirts and black jeans. Same thing, same articulation. Head movement there, boom with the arm, same stuff. We did the ab crunch, and the legs weren't messed with, so they are fine. So Domino here, he had a little bit more success than Deuce. His WWE career ended a little bit early. The team broke up, and then I believe he was released shortly after. After that, he did a lot of indies, and then eventually he ended up doing some shots in Ring of Honor. He joined Kevin Steen's group at the time, Scum. It wasn't a long reign, but he did some stuff with Ring of Honor, and that was about it. I don't think after that he really did anything. And then obviously he went to Nigeria and wrestled the Great Power Udi. I'm very happy with these two. I wasn't too happy in the last episode with the Orlando Jordan and the Jimmy Wang Yang, but I think with the Deuce and Domino, I think he really knocked it out of the park with these two. So I'm very, very happy with this. Again, his Instagram will be in the description. Too Sweet Customs. Go check out his page. And if you're interested in some customs, hey, definitely hit him up. We got a few more customs, and I'm pretty excited about these because unlike the Deuce and Domino one where I just bought it because the guy was selling it, these next few figures that I'm going to show off, I actually personally ordered from somebody. So the guy's name is 3XR Studio. I've showed him off previously. It was one of the earlier episodes of the monthly figure videos. I ended up ordering a Sandman from him, ECW Sandman, and he did a phenomenal job with that. And these figures that I'm about to show off have been in the pipeline for quite some time. I think going back to like November, late October, early November is when I placed the order for these. So it has taken some time to get here. He is busy with other orders, which is very understandable, but he finally got around to making my figures. One of the customs I'm going to show off did give him a little bit of a hard time because the body's just... It's a little unusual compared to other wrestlers where they have a very basic body, but like this other guy, he was very bottom heavy and kind of short and stout. We'll show him in a second. So I'm very excited to show off these figures. First one we're going to start with is one that I actually bought off him. I didn't order this figure. This was something that he made and was just offering it to people. And I was like, damn, that is an awesome looking figure. I am very interested. Let me grab that off you. And the first one I'm going to show off, a guy who's in very popular demand right now. Actually, I would say the biggest free agent out there on the market. Recently left New Japan, could end up in WWE, could end up in AEW. I'm kind of hoping WWE, to be honest, over AEW, but we'll have to wait to see. And if you're not sure who I'm talking about by now, I am talking about the Switchblade himself, Jay White. Now I'm showing the back off because I did have a little bit of paint issue with him. So when I took him out of the baggie that he came in, I didn't notice this until after. I should have been more careful. His nose, yes. A little bit of chipping on the nose. Yes, I think the nose got stuck to the plastic baggie. I think it was hot and it got stuck. I should have been more careful when taking him out. I talked to the guy. He offered to repaint it, which I appreciate. I don't know if I'm going to take him up on his offer. Probably not right now. But yeah, a little unfortunate thing with the nose. But I will have to say that the figure itself still looks pretty freaking sweet. As you can see, he's got the two sweet... because he is part of the Bullet Club, or was part of the Bullet Club, former leader, former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. A lot of accomplishments. He's in the WWE Elite Style body. The head is a 3D sculpt, unlike Deuce and Domino, who we took the heads from the Jakks Pacific figures and put them on the body. This Jay White was 3D printed by... I'm not sure who did it, but he did a phenomenal job, and 3XR did a phenomenal job painting the face. I think it looks really good, all the detail. He did a great job with the attire as well, which we'll show off. Yeah, when he showed it off, I was like, damn, that is sweet. I'm a sucker for white attires. I just think they look super clean, and the white with the red and the little black, it really sold it for me. I was like, damn, I gotta pick that up. And then you know what sucks? Immediately after I committed to buying this, because I committed to buying this in like November, December, is when he posted this. And then shortly after that, it was like, Jay White might be leaving New Japan. I'm like, fuck. That means if he goes to another company, he's definitely going to be getting a figure. And if I just waited a little bit, I would have gotten an official release instead of having to get a 3D custom. And that's my fault too, because with the customs that I get, I try and get customs of guys that aren't active anymore, or there's a very low chance of them getting a figure. Jay White's super young. He's only 30 years old. So there's still a lot of opportunities to get figures of him. So this was kind of dumb on my part. I just got a little trigger happy when I saw the figure. I was like, damn, that's awesome. I'm going to buy it. A little bit of regret on this one. I should have waited for an official release, but I will say this is still an awesome looking figure. Sweet looking figure. I did bring a couple accessories, a couple of championships that he's won. So first we got the IWGP Intercontinental title. This belt and the next two belts I'm going to show off, these are from the Super 7 New Japan line. They're very nice looking belts, but they are very flimsy and these holes break apart easily. That's why they're not in it. But I just kind of brought it to pose with Jay White, because these are championships that he won. So it looks awesome there. Look at that. Looking great. Another title he won was the Never Openweight Championship, which is a really weird name, but just New Japan doing New Japan things. That's another title that he won. And the last title that he won, not the last one, but the one that I have that he won, is the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. This is a sweet looking title. Super 7 really did a fantastic job with this. He looks awesome with it. So there he is. Looks great. Great looking figure. And these are some great accessories for him. And we'll be seeing him again shortly. So this isn't the last you've seen of Jay White. So the next 3 customs I'm going to show off are ones that I actually ordered from 3XR and he created. Obviously, he did create the Jay White, but the next 3 are actual orders that I placed with him. So the first one I'm going to show off, it kind of falls in the same category of Jay White where this person's an active wrestler. But the reason I got this done was because I like this particular look. I was kind of inspired after Jay Briscoe passed away in January. I went on a nostalgia trip and watching some old Ring of Honor shows, and I was watching old Briscoe Brothers matches. And then on one of the videos, I was watching a Briscoe Brothers match, and I saw this person on the side, and I'm like, oh yeah, this guy was in Ring of Honor. Oh yeah, I really liked him in Ring of Honor. It was really cool. I always liked when they brought the Japanese guys in to Ring of Honor because I just thought it was cool because they really made the Japanese guys feel special. And as someone who didn't follow New Japan and wasn't familiar, actually this guy's not even from New Japan. He primarily wrestled in Noah. Right now you can catch him in New Japan. I remember seeing him in Ring of Honor and I'm just like, damn, he is a goddamn badass. He's a tiny guy, he's smaller in stature, but he just looks like he's kicking so much ass. And the person that I am talking about is the current New Japan Strong champion. It is Kenta. Yes, so here he is. So this is an older look of his where this is the look that he used, I would say, for most of his career, is this yellow and brown gear. And I would say it's kind of iconic, at least towards Kenta. And the head, I'll break down the whole figure, but this is something that I had in mind, especially after watching the Ring of Honor matches. I was just like, damn, it would be so cool to get a Kenta figure like this. We almost kind of had one. There was one planned with WWE Elite a couple years ago. There was an NXT line of figures that they had a basic line and they had an elite line. And it was a Target exclusive. I believe we got 3 waves of each, 3 waves of basics and 3 waves of elites. We were supposed to get a Hideo Itami in the 4th wave, but that ended up getting canceled. I remember it was Hideo Itami, Titus O'Neil, Roderick Strong, and I don't remember the 4th person. There's 4 people. But Roderick ended up getting bumped to the main wave. Titus O'Neil ended up getting moved to the Royal Rumble sub-elite line. And the Hideo Itami, he ended up being in WWE for a couple years after, but they just ended up scrapping the figure. It looked cool, but unfortunately, like I said, we never got him. We did get a couple of basics of Kenta, and that's kind of where this head is from. He had 3 different basic figures. 2 of them, I believe, were with this head, and then he had another head. I'll throw it up on the screen. And this whole body is actually reused from a somewhat recent release of the AJ Styles and the WWE Legends line. When I first saw that figure, I was like, damn, that is a cool looking figure. Like, it's cool to just get a young AJ Styles. I'm gonna rest Kenta over here. It looks very tiny on the set. But when I first saw that AJ Styles, I'm still debating if I want to get it. I might get it just because I really like AJ. But when I saw that figure, I'm just like, damn, that is a nice, like, little custom. You know, it's a nice little body. There's not too many decals, plain torso. Like, AJ doesn't have any tattoos, or at the time he didn't have any tattoos. It was just a very unique color because it was brown, and then I was kind of thinking about it, I'm like, damn, that his body would actually be pretty good for, like, a Kenta figure. So I hit up 3XR, I was like, hey, I have this in mind. What do you think? We take the head of the basic of a Kenta figure, and then we take the AJ Styles body, and we just kind of paint it up a little bit, and we got a Kenta figure. And he was like, yeah, I think I can do that. I think that sounds good. And that's what he ended up doing. So this whole body, excluding the head, the whole body is AJ Styles, WWE Legends. I don't remember the wave. Actually, if you can see here, if I lift up the leg, you can see an S still from the Styles. So Styles is written in here in gold, and obviously he painted over it with the yellow. So this is pretty accurate to what he looked like. A couple little details that he added on. He added on these Nike swooshes onto the boots just to kind of give them a little more detail, a little more flavor. Also, he added this bandage to the leg. So it should be like this. And his leg is wrapped. So that was a pretty cool detail. I think that was in the match that I sent him. That was a detail that he included. And then he also included this little logo. There was a logo on Kenta's trunks, on these trunks. We couldn't decipher what it was. We couldn't find a clear enough image because we were looking at pictures from like 2008, 2010, around there. And quality of images is not like what it is now. So he kind of just came up with something. It's kind of similar to what was on the trunks, but that's not too big of a deal. But yeah, all in all, I would say this is an awesome little Kenta figure. Easy to put together. I wish I had the patience to like paint and be really nice with it like he was. But yeah, I think it looks good. And this is how the trunks were. It was yellow and brown, and then it would reverse. Yellow on this side and brown on this side. So, like I said before with Jay White, I try not to get current guys that are currently, or guys that aren't currently wrestling. But this was a particular look that I wanted of Kenta, and I think it looks pretty solid, and it's got all the articulation. It's not fragile because it is mainly AJ Styles. The only thing is the head, and the head can turn fine without any issues, so that is really cool. I brought a little prop we saw with Jay White, but I'll bring it on to Kenta because he did win this title in New Japan, and he was the never openweight champion. And right now he's doing things in New Japan. He's currently part of the Bullet Club. He's the New Japan Strong Champion. We recently saw him in Impact Wrestling, so I can't wait to see what he does next. But yeah, awesome figure. Really happy with this one. And the next two figures, I was very excited for. This first guy I'm going to show off, I'm a big fan of, and I just think it's weird because I can probably think on one hand of how many matches of this guy I've actually watched. I'm just going to introduce him, and then we'll talk about it. But we got former ECW World Heavyweight Champion, left ECW just before it kind of went under, and really made a name for himself on the independents in Japan. Had a big run in Ring of Honor. He was integral to like their early years, and later on he was a part of Scum along with Cliff Compton. But the person that I am talking about is current trainer down in the PC, the Performance Center for WWE. It is Steve Corino. Yeah, this figure looks cool. Now, I will just point out the little thing. The same thing happened with Jay White, the little nick on the nose. Very unfortunate. But honestly, his isn't as noticeable as Jay's, which is nice. But I gotta say, this figure looks awesome. I really like it. I forgot to introduce him as the King of Old School. I apologize. But as we can see on his trunks, he is the King of Old School. I'm super happy to have Steve Corino in my ECW collection. Honestly, this is a guy I feel like WWE could easily put a figure out of. For some reason, they haven't. Which, whatever the case may be, he's signed under WWE. Just give him a figure deal and whatnot. But you know, whatever. Maybe we'll get one eventually, but it doesn't look like anytime soon. Steve Corino is a guy, like, I haven't seen too many of his matches. I've seen, like, clips of, like, his stuff in ECW and Ring of Honor. But as far as, like, actual matches, maybe, like, 4 or 5. 6 at the most. But honestly, I really am a big fan of Steve Corino. There was a time when I would watch tons of shoot interviews. I found this YouTube channel. This was like years and years and years ago. I was like still in high school, or I just finished. I would just listen to them. I just loved hearing stories of wrestlers and stuff like that. And I started watching interviews of people that I knew, and I'm like, damn, he's uploading a lot of wrestlers that I'm not familiar with. And I'm like, I still like listening to these wrestling stories, so I'm just going to pick one. And I ended up picking up Steve Corino, listening to his interview because I'd seen his name a lot with like ECW and stuff. And honestly, just from his interview alone, I became a fan of him. He just had a really fun interview. He was really funny, charismatic. He told good stories, very candid. It was a very open conversation about his career, and it honestly just made me a fan of him. If you want, like, Steve absolutely unhinged, I recommend his RF video shoot. Very funny guy. And I loved his work in Ring of Honor, especially as a commentator. I think it's super underrated. His reactions and comments, they were edgy at some times, but I just thought it added this really funny dynamic where it's not typically stuff you would hear people say. It was kind of borderline Jerry Lawler, but without all the sexual stuff. Like, you know, Jerry Lawler would be, oh, puppies and stuff. And, you know, Steve Corino would be like, oh my God, Adam Cole is so good looking. It was just really funny. I really loved him on commentary. As far as like him as a wrestler, I can't really speak on it because I haven't seen too much. But as Steve Corino, the person, I really like the guy. I'm a fan of him, and I'm glad to finally have a figure of him. The figure looks awesome. As you can see here, it's got SC, Steve Carino. On the back, we showed it off, King of Old School. We got a little bit of Japanese writing here. I'm not sure what this says. If somebody can tell me in the comment section, I'll hold it a couple different ways. But we have it like that, like that. I asked 3XR, I'm like, hey, what does this mean? And he's like, oh, I forgot. So it does mean something. I'm just not fluent in Japanese, so I'm not sure. I was kind of hoping he would just write Colby here, because that's what he has a lot of the time on his wrist tapes. It's just that's the name of his son, Colby. There's every direction. So if someone can please translate this for me, I'd really, really appreciate that. I just want to know what it means. But yeah, the figure looks good. This is a 3D custom head from somebody that printed it out. It looks awesome, and he also did a great job with the paint. One thing I was kind of hoping he would do, and I kind of mentioned in giving some detail, was like, I want like the brownish on the insides, and then obviously his hair was blonde. That's the type of look that I wanted to go for, because a lot of times he would just bleach his hair, so this would be blonde. But I like a little bit of brown here, and then the rest being blonde. Small little request, but he was able to do that for me, and I think it looks really good. So yeah, very happy about this one. And as you can see on his face, he's got some scar marks, because if you ever watched ECW, he did bleed quite a bit. One of his most famous moments in ECW is bleeding so much that Jerry Lynn took some blood from him and wrote "die" on his chest. So that was pretty gnarly. Regular metal articulation, everything is good. The joints are good. This arm's kind of loose, as you can see here. Kind of loose there, where this one is fine. It's just staying still. And the head is, I can move it side to side, but it is not sitting. I can take it off if I want, but I'm going to leave it on. Pop it up there a little bit, because put it too far in, it kind of looks a little goofy, so I'll take it out just a little bit. But the head is not secure, but I don't plan on moving this around too much. So this is a cool addition, and we're going to show him off with the ECW title, which we showed off earlier with Matt Hardy, and here's the championship that he won in ECW. Looking pretty cool. And yeah, can't say enough good things. Very, very happy about this one. And just for fun, I'm going to show him off with the new ECW championship. I know he never won it, but, you know, I'm just like, what the hell. We'll just show him off with the other ECW World Heavyweight title. Doesn't really wrap too well around the waist. Looks kind of big on him. And we're actually going to be keeping these ECW titles around for this next custom. Actually, the final custom. This is the last custom that I got. And the final custom is someone who's still active in the wrestling business. Honestly, I more so know him as a commentator. When I started getting into wrestling, I think he already had fully transitioned into being a SmackDown commentator with Michael Cole. So that's really where I know him from. But I've gone back, obviously, and watched some of his stuff. And man, people kind of sleep on this person. I'll just say him. We'll introduce him. We've got Taz, looking pretty dope. We'll show him off here in a second. So another guy coming from ECW along with Steve Carino. Taz is a guy that a lot of people forget. Like, he was a complete badass. Like, if you watch him in ECW, him like this, he kind of had a Samoa Joe vibe to him, where I remember when I first saw Samoa Joe, I'm like, that guy is killing people. Like, people would chant, "Joe is gonna kill you." And when you'd watch Joe in the ring, it would look like Joe is absolutely mauling and destroying his opponent. And I would say Taz is kind of from that same tree. I would say Taz is the tree, and Joe is kind of like a branch. And yeah, Taz was just a badass. I used to have a Taz figure. He hasn't had too many, especially with this look in particular, where in WWE, he started with this look, and then he kind of transitioned into kind of looking like a mechanic. That's the best way I can describe him. I remember I got the original Taz figure from Ringside Collectibles. I believe it was a Ringside exclusive, Classic Superstars Taz. It was made by Jack Pacific. I'm glad to have another version of this. I don't think we'll ever get another version of Taz like this. I don't think AEW has the rights to produce them. I could be wrong, and maybe they can do it, but yeah, I'm not too sure. Also, we've got a custom towel piece. This was something 3XR made for me. It is separate from the head. We'll talk about the figure in a second. But yeah, he molded together a towel to place on his head, and you can see his logo here. And it is a pretty sturdy piece of whatever the hell this is. So this was a nice little attachment. I appreciate that. Put that to the side. But here we have Taz. You can see some paint here. We'll talk about that in a second. But we're just going to show the figure off. The head, I think, looks absolutely incredible. This is another 3D printed head that someone made, and it looks absolutely incredible. Really big fan of this. The likeness is absolutely uncanny. Tattoos here. So I'm not sure what this one's supposed to be. It just kind of looks like gibberish. The one here, this wraps around the arm. Actually, no, it does not wrap around the arm. I apologize. And then on here, we got the Tasmanian Devil, who is what he named himself after, I believe. And we got a tattoo here, and another arm wrap type tattoo. And of course, FTW on the wrist tape. And we got another tattoo on the leg here. And the boots, very shiny, very glossy. And on the back, here is his deco. I did end up fucking this up because I twisted it because I was checking out all the different, still seeing if it had the range of motion. And when I did this, it messed with the piece that he put on here, the 13 logo. So it is over the waist joint, so you aren't really able to twist it. I mean, I can, but I will end up ruining it, so I'm not going to move it too much. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the head is not really on as well. This one actually came off, as you can see. Here's the inside of his head. Not really a ball joint to sit on, which is a weird decision by the creator. But whatever. So here's the ball joint. Or the head joint, I'll say. Neck joint, whatever. And it'll twist and turn. Same thing with Steve Corino, but it can come up. So originally, I'm going to say it's my fault because I did not give proper guidance on what I wanted with the Taz. He had made a Taz previously, and I was like, oh man, that's really cool. Can you remake it with a different attire? And he's like, yeah, cool, I can do that. The Taz that he originally made for me had a giant T here on the stomach. Actually, you can kind of see it there, the T. It was just a giant orange T, and I was like, I'm really not a fan of that. I was like, oh, would you be able to cover that up and instead put this on the back? Because originally this was just blank, and his attire was just the orange T here, and I'm like, I'm really not a fan of that. And he's like, yeah, I can do that. So some of the paint has rubbed off here in the shipping in the bag, which is unfortunate. We got that covered up, and we put this on the back instead, which I think looks better. And this is more of his look from his WWE debut at the Royal Rumble against Kurt Angle, so pretty happy about that. The legs were a bit of a mission. That was one thing that took forever for this figure. Because Taz is kind of shorter in stature, he does have some tree trunks for legs. 3XR, he couldn't really decide which legs would go best with the figure. So we tried a couple different ones. I believe Big E was a candidate. Jonah, who I believe these are the legs of, or Bronson Reed, I apologize. And that's who I believe the lower waist is. And I think it looks good, honestly. I think it is a solid Taz custom. Now we're going to pose him with the ECW title. I said we were keeping it for a reason. And Taz is a former ECW champion. I believe he's a Triple Crown winner. I believe he won the world title, the TV title, and the tag titles. And he also won the TV or the FTW title, but that doesn't really count. So here is Taz. I'm actually going to open this up. So here is Taz with the ECW championship, looking absolutely incredible. And we'll pose him with the fake ECW title, which I'm sure he would be disgusted by, but there he is with that title. Doesn't look too bad. And then we'll have him hold both titles. And there they are. So there is Taz I am very happy with these. Like I said, I will put his Instagram in the description. Go check him out. You can place an order if you want, or you can just kind of talk to him and pick his brain about some customs. I would say he's one of the better people in the custom community. He actually gets back to you, gives you pretty detailed responses, pretty friendly guy, and I think he makes some incredible work. So I'd say definitely check out his Instagram, check out what he makes, check out some of the customs that he's posted, and these are just a few of that he's made for me. So I've placed a few more orders. Hopefully we'll see them sooner than later. There is one more thing that I got, and this was kind of an experimental thing for me. And there are other people on Instagram that are creating stuff. Not only are people creating custom figures, you have people that are creating custom belts, custom figure clothing. And I was like, you know what? I want to kind of check that out. I want to see what it's like. I want to get some in person. So I recently got one in. This one also took quite a while. I ordered this, I would say, early to mid-January, and I got it very late March. So it did take a little bit to come here. I believe usually he's got a faster turnaround, but you know, it is what it is. So the guy I worked with or ordered from is called Chaos Club Wrestling. Even though it's Club Chaos Wrestling, it's supposed to be Chaos Wrestling Club, or maybe I said it wrong. No, it's Chaos Wrestling Club. That's what it's supposed to be. He creates figure clothing and he creates championships. And I was like, oh, you know what? He came recommended to me from 3XR, and I checked out his page and I'm like, oh, he makes some really cool stuff, some cool championships. He makes some cool figure clothing, and I'm like, I've never ordered this, but I'm gonna take a shot and I'm gonna order some. So this is the packaging that it came in. Very cool. And I'm not going to show the back because that has my address. Slowly pull out from the envelope the two things I ordered. So I ordered a championship and I ordered some figure clothing. So I've pulled it out. We're putting the envelope away. So I ordered 5 t-shirts for figures, and I ordered a world championship, probably one of my favorite titles. So the first thing I'll show off is the clothing, and comes in a nice little baggie. And it is a Bullet Club t-shirt. Yes, for figures. Looks really cool. We'll take it out of the packaging. And he also put in his business card, as you can see here. Chaos Wrestling Club. You pick it, I stick it. Belts, t-shirts, and logos. And here is his Instagram and Facebook. I will be linking it in the description. Or you can go yourself, type it in, or scan the QR code. Put it nice and close for you. Here it is, a Bullet Club t-shirt. Yes, there's been many members of the Bullet Club, and I've got a bunch of them in my collection. I think it looks good. It looks awesome. This is the type of shirt that Mattel would give. It is a different fabric from what they give. If you give me 1 second. So here's a shirt he created, and I forgot I still had the Dusty Roads, and this is the Dusty shirt. A little bit of a different material, I would say. I don't know if this is nylon or whatnot. It's definitely got like a smoothness to it. But as you can see on the back, it's got the Velcro, and then the opposite side of Velcro that attaches on. And then, boom. And this also has that on the back. Here it is. So, ta-da! So it looks like he cuts the fabric, and then sews it together. I know he does these along with his girlfriend. I know he mentioned, I was talking to him in DMs, and he mentioned that, at least for the championship titles, she helps him paint. I don't know if she helps him sew and do the shirts. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So there's the shirt unfolded. There it is. And I think it's fitting if we bring back Jay White, the former leader of the Bullet Club, and let's try this t-shirt out on him. Hopefully this goes through easy. The two sweet hands, they do. Awesome, awesome. I don't know how this is going to work because the hair is pretty stiff. Just stretch it out a little bit. Attach the Velcro, and Bob's your uncle. This one's not as clean because the hair kind of gets in the way. Here we have Jay White in a Bullet Club t-shirt. Actually looks pretty dope. I'm pretty happy with this. And I know you might be saying, Gangster, you said you ordered 5, but there's only 1 in the bag. And you're absolutely correct, because I took the time to select some people to put on some Bullet Club shirts. So we got Jay White here, who will set up. So also in the Bullet Club, we've got Carl Anderson, looking pretty snazzy. We've got his partner in crime, the big LG, Luke Gallows. And the figure does fit well in a bigger frame, bigger guy like Luke Gallows. And we've also got the former leader of the Bullet Club, kind of the creator. Actually, I believe he is the creator along with Carl Anderson. We've got the originator, Finn, I want to say Prince Devitt, Finn Balor, Prince Devitt, whatever you want to call him. Looking pretty dope in his Bullet Club t-shirt. And I brought one more person, and I wanted to see how the figure would look on an AEW style figure, because all these guys are Mattel Elite style. And I've got Kenny Omega in a Bullet Club shirt. Just kind of wanted to see if it fit the same as it does on the Mattel figures, and I'm happy to say that it does. So we got some Bullet Club members in the house. I got a few more figures that are members of Bullet Club, but I only got 5 shirts. And I think these were 5 good representations of the Bullet Club. So yeah, I think the shirts look awesome. I might be placing some more orders for the clothing, because I think that he did a great job. And we still have the championship to show, so let's clear the board here. This is one of my favorite titles ever. I just like the design. It's got a lot of history in the wrestling world. I had one before. It came with a TNA figure, but that one's super beat up. I'll compare it to it in a second. But I really wanted a fresh version of it, and I thought he did a phenomenal job. And the title I'm talking about is the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Here it is. Looks awesome. Unfortunately, I do have one small issue. We'll take it out of the bag and show it off. This is all 3D printed and hand painted, and I think it looks absolutely incredible. Look at that. Canada, Australia, US, Mexico, Japan. I like this little touch here of the little beads that he put on. Makes it look like a real championship. And we'll show off the back. Nice little material. I'm assuming this is a leather of some sort, maybe pleather. But here it is. So, the title looks great. But I have one issue with it. And I contacted him about it because I'm like, I think mine came a little messed up. The small little thing that's wrong with it is there's supposed to be a little Velcro strip here that unfortunately he did not attach. And it's supposed to be able to hook on here, or kind of the same way as the shirt does, where it will just Velcro together. Mine didn't have that. He forgot to include it, which sucks a lot because it being my first time. It's very unfortunate. So unfortunately, I can't keep it together. I have to keep it like this or draped over someone's arm like this. And I brought a couple friends to model off the title for, so let's bring some in. I actually got quite the runway for this one, so we're going to bring out Steve Corino again, who is a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And that title looks awesome with him. Honestly, this title would look good with everybody, even the current World Champion, who I know people aren't really a fan of. Then we got one of the more modern-day champions, former 2-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. We've got Trevor Murdoch. He won the title about a year ago, I would say, maybe a little more. But there he is. And it looks awesome with him as well. And, of course, this figure is also a custom. I believe we showed this off on the last episode. Or the episode before that. One of the last few episodes. And then we're going to go with a bit of a throwback. Dusty Rhodes, baby, the American Dream. With the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. This is a title that he fought over lots of times. I believe with Ric Flair. Could be wrong. This was before my time. But there it is. Title will not fit around him, but that's about as best as it goes. There you can see. We've got another modern champion. We've got former NWA champion Matt Cardona. When he won the title, I was very happy when he won the title. I was like, yes, that is awesome. Unfortunately, he got shortly injured after he won it, but I would have liked to have seen his reign in NWA last longer, but like I said, unfortunately due to injury, he had to relinquish it. But it would have been cool to see what he could do with the NWA. And then I got a bit of a throwback back to the TNA days. We've got former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Please be kind to me. This figure I know is super beat up. I had to dig this out of bags of wrestling figures I had, but I'm like, you know what? Let me bring this out to show. But we have a former TNA figure, Abyss. And he was a former champion. He won the title from Sting. And like I said, I know the figure is very beat up. It's even browning here on the on the sides. It's supposed to be white. This is a very old figure. I played the shit out of this. I love these TNA figures. They were awesome. We've got the current champion, and like I said, I know he's not a lot of people's faves, but he is the champion, and he brings a lot of eyes to the screen, and it is Brodus Clay. Or, I apologize, this is Brodus Clay, but as he is known now, Tyrus. He is the current NWA champion. You can see him on some Fox News show. I know a lot of people don't like Tyrus as champion, but I think it is cool that he's champion, and he also appears on like a highly syndicated show with the Fox News stuff. I'm not a Fox News guy. It doesn't mean anything to me, but just to kind of give the title some more visibility on a national platform, because that's what the title is, the National Wrestling Alliance Championship. It gives it a little more exposure, and NWA is still a tiny company, so any exposure is good exposure, even if it's negative. And I haven't seen too much of his run, so I can't really comment on it. I also brought my old NWA Championship. This came with Jeff Jarrett and Wave 1 of the TNA figures made by Toy Biz, so this is extremely beat up. Definitely hit a lot of people in the face with it. As you can see, it is super scuffed up. The American flag is pretty much gone here. And yeah, it's faded a lot. So I was like, you know what? I got to get a new version of it. And you can see the yellow here. So when I was playing with my figures at a certain point, I would write storylines and stuff. And one of the champions was Hulk Hogan. I ended up putting on the Hulk Hogan, and I just ended up putting it away for a long time. And it ended up like fusing and melting onto the Hulk Hogan. And that's why it's yellow here, just yellow paint from the Hulk Hogan shirt. But as you can see, here's a little comparison between the two. I guess they changed the championship here. I'm guessing it was supposed to be UK on the left, or maybe it was Canada and UK or something like that. I'm not too sure. Very similar in design. Like, I think he absolutely killed it with the 3D prints. Again, that is compared to the Toy Biz version of the NWA World Heavyweight title. Unfortunately, like I said, the Velcro thing is kind of a letdown. But I would say I would probably order another belt from him, and even clothing. I was very happy with what came. Again, if you want to check him out, I will put his Instagram in the description, and you can go check it out. He has a list of titles that he makes. You can also custom order a title, but you have to pay extra for him to create the 3D file and stuff. But he's got a list of belts that he creates. And as far as shirts that you want to do, if you can send him like a screenshot of the logo or an example of the thing, and he can just do it himself, you can do that as well. So if you're interested in any custom belts or any custom clothing, definitely hit him up. So yeah, I'm very happy about this, and we might be seeing some more of his stuff on here in the future. And last but not least, the main event. We've got Power Rangers Lightning Collection. This was a Holy Grail item that came. I've got to save it for last because I got the most to say about it. Before we get into the Holy Grail item, I did get another 2 editions. So like I said in the Beast Wars stuff, off the Hasbro Pulse sale, I ordered the K9 figure. That's cool. And I had to add a couple more figures to get over that $75 threshold. And I was really debating what I wanted to get. I was really wanting to make it worth it. I didn't want to get something that I could probably get at like a Walmart or Toys R Us or GameStop or whatnot. I wanted to get like a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. I wanted to get the Cyclops, the Marvel Legends Cyclops VHS figure, but unfortunately that ended up selling out, so I'm like, fuck, god damn it, I really wanted that figure. So once that sold out, I'm like, oh shit, what am I getting? What do I want to get now? What's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive that I can get? So I was kind of looking, through all the brands that they sell, Transformers, Marvel Legends, Power Rangers, and I was like, I saw something, and I was like, do I want to get it? So we're going to bring out something real quick. So this is from a previous release that I got. I believe this was from the December 2022 video, but it is the Mighty Morphin Metallic White Ranger. And I was like, do I want to get the rest of the team? Because I got this one due to the untimely passing of Jason David Frank. And I knew if I did want to get this eventually, I would probably have to pay an exorbitant amount because scalpers would take advantage of his death. So I ended up picking up this, like I said, back in December. And when I was looking at the Hasbro Pulse website, I was like, man, do I want to get the rest of the team? And I really thought about it, and I'm like, ugh, I guess I'm going to get the fucking other members. I was like, I'm not going to get them all, obviously, because that would be a very expensive haul. So out of the 6 people, I already got one. I got the White Ranger. So then I had the red, blue, yellow, pink, and black Ranger. Another thing that made my decision a little bit easier was the Red Ranger ended up selling out as well. I was like, God damn, I can't catch a fucking break. What the hell? So then I was limited to the black, pink, yellow, and blue Ranger. And I ended up going with the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger and the Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger. And the reason being, with the Yellow Ranger and the Blue Ranger, they just got released in the remastered line. And I was like, if I end up getting those metallic and then remastered again, I'll feel like I'm buying the same figure twice. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get pink and black. And if I do end up getting the remastered figures, the blue and yellow, it'll be different. I won't feel like I'm getting the same figure twice. So that's how I went with black and pink. And we'll take out Tommy here for a second and we'll talk about these Rangers. I gotta say, I think they look pretty good. My light might die here in a second, so I'll use my camera flash or my phone flash if I need to. We're going to talk about Mighty Morphin Pink first. So here we have Catherine, the successor to Kimberly as the Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger. I think it looks good. I think the head sculpt looks good. I think everything as a whole looks good. Her weapons, the helmet, no complaints there. I think it is weird that they decided to put the head on the figure where the other figures have the helmet on instead of the head. But for the Pink Ranger, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to put her head on instead of the helmet. Weird choice, but whatever. But yeah, as a whole, I think it looks good. I like the sparkles on all around the box, actually, on the sides, on this side, even on the top, it is all sparkly to emphasize the metallic version of the figure. Not too much to say because, like I said, I've already gotten this figure before. I have the normal version of the team. As we can see here, here's Mighty Morphin Pink regular version. Actually, I'll put it on this side. And we have the metallic version, Kimberly and Catherine. Pretty much the exact same figure, just in a more translucent, sparkly color. Box is exactly the same, just shinier. As you can see, if you look at the top, you know which one's which. Bottom and the back. Same pose and everything. But I will compare the heads because this is actually going to be the 3rd time we get a Catherine head. Actually, 4th time because she also got a Ninja figure, but I didn't get that version. I got the Kimberly version. But we've also got her 2-pack of heads, and she got a new head in each figure, as we can see here. Different head there. For Zeo, she got a ponytail head, and then for this, she got another smiling head. So I would say her best head is probably the metallic one out of these ones. I like her ponytail one too. This one I would say doesn't really look like her in my opinion. This one I would say looks like her, and this one I would say is almost like a spitting image of her. So they really knocked it out of the park with this head. This was just to show off the heads. Like I said, not too much to say, but the head sculpt looks great. And then we got Mighty Morphin Black. We got Adam. And of course, I've got the Zack figure along, like I said, along... Oh, light died. So you got the Zack and Adam figure. Of course, this is the original release of just the plain Mighty Morphin Black Ranger. And this is the metallic version. Like I said, similar to the pink version. Box is the exact same. We see the plain black and the sparkly black here as well. Bottom, nothing. Here, sparkly black. And on the back, they actually have a different pose this time, which is pretty cool. It kind of spices it up, makes it feel a little bit different. I like that. In terms of differences, there is a slight difference that I actually prefer with the Mighty Morphin Metallic Black. And this is just something that happened with the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger, just like a little inconsistency compared to the other Rangers, where if you look at the Morpher, they did not include the little red circle, as you can see there. And all the other Rangers have the little red circle on the Morpher. And for the metallic version, they decided to correct that, which I really, really appreciate. but unfortunately this one still does not have it. We're going to set this one aside for now. I am interjecting this from the future because I forgot to do this comparison. I did it with Cat, but what happened was my light ended up dying. Basically, whenever I see the light starting to flicker and I know my light's going to die, I start to panic and be like, oh shit, I gotta kind of wrap this up, get through what I'm trying to talk about. So I ended up leaving this out, so I'm interjecting it now. So along with Cat, this is actually not Adam's first figure. This is actually going to be his third. He's got the metallic Black Ranger, which we already showed off. We've got the Ninjetti version, and we also have the Zeo Green version. Now, unlike Cat, with the Adam figures, they did not change the head up at all. I'm going to show them up closely, but the heads for Adam in every single package has been the same thing, the same expression, same hairstyle, same everything. So we're going to take a quick look at the metallic one. So as there we can see, it's a great likeness to him. I think this is probably one of the better head sculpts that Hasbro's done with the Power Rangers. And then we will take a look at the Zeo one, Zeo Green, and as we can see, it's the exact same head. But I will say that there's a better skin tone on the metallic black one, where the Zeo one, I don't know if it's going to be picked up too well on the camera, but it is very pale in comparison to the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger. I'm trying to angle them both, but as we can see there, and then we can see here, it's the exact same face, same hair, same everything. And then we will do a little comparison with the Ninjetti one. And again, it is the exact same head. Now he's got a little bit of a different expression. I would say he's more stoic here, where he's got a very serious look. But for the most part, it's very similar. Even the hair, the parting in the hair is almost identical. So they didn't really change it up with Adam, which is unfortunate. I would have liked maybe a happy expression. So it's a little disappointing that they pretty much reuse the same head for all the figures, but I will say it is a very good likeness to him. So in that sense, I can forgive it, but I would have liked if they kind of changed up the expression a little bit, maybe changed the hair up. Just something along those lines. Also, I didn't mention this, but this version of the Metallic Ranger and the pink one as well also come with pieces of the Zeo Crystal. So as we can see, Adams is right there. It's kind of hard to see, but there's the piece of the Zeo Crystal. I believe Catherine comes with a piece of the Zeo Crystal, but I believe is hidden back here and we can't really see it. If we look on the side here, here's her blast effect piece, and there's an extra hand. I don't know why they didn't just display the Zeo Crystal piece like with the Black Ranger, and I believe even Tommy. As you can see, he has all the combined crystals together, and it's shown off in the box, but they decided to hide it with Catherine, or maybe she didn't have it. I don't remember that. So we've got half the team and still got half to go. I guess I'm all in collecting these guys. So look forward to me getting the red, yellow, and blue Ranger whenever that may be. I'm only going to get them if they are discounted. I've made that clear when I picked up the White Ranger, where I'm not too interested in the metallic versions. But if I can get them on special, then I would definitely pick them up. Not definitely, but I'd be more inclined to. So that's kind of what happened here. So not too much to say about these, but a cool addition to my collection. And here we are with the finale, the final item I got for the month. My Holy Grail item. What is the Holy Grail item? What is it? We're actually going to have a little special intro played for this because our boy here, he's a little shy. And he only comes out when he hears his favorite song. And we have a special person presenting that song. So without further ado, if we can just take it to our musical guest, if you can cue that up, that will be awesome.
I call upon Dragonzord!
This is my Holy Grail item. It is the Zord Ascension Project Dragon Zord. I always wanted this as a kid. I think this is probably one of the coolest looking Zords that there's ever been. I think Tommy as the Green Ranger was just, extremely iconic, and it's super awesome that his Zord was just as iconic. And to finally have this in figure form, I never had this as a kid, never had it at any point in my life, but I always wanted one. and I finally have it. It is here. It is in my possession. I cannot wait to open this, and we are going to be opening this. Unlike a previous release, which I also showed off in a previous figure video, we'll talk more about this later. This is the main event here, but I do have this as well, and when I did end up buying this and showed it off in the video, I never opened it, and I still haven't opened it. But this Dragon Zord, I have to open it. I have to have it in hand. I kind of need to mess around with it because it is something I always wanted. But we're going to do some comparisons with the box in a second. But we're just going to go with the Dragon Zord first. I picked this up at GameStop because I mentioned earlier I'm the premium member, whatever. I get 10% off my purchases. And every time I go to the GameStop website, I will see this. Like, it'll stare me in the face. Like, buy me, buy me, buy me. And I was like, not this month. I'm going to wait a little bit. And I knew I was waiting for way too long. I was like, at any moment now, this thing can sell out and it'll just become so hard to find. So I'm like, you know what? I'm finally going to pull the trigger. And I ended up getting it this month. And I'm super happy to have it. We're going to show off the box. So here's the front. I'm going to be honest, I'm not too crazy about the front of the Zord. This is when it's combined with the Dino Megazord and that special Dragon Dino Megazord form. I don't know what the official term for it is, but it combines with the saber-toothed tiger, the Triceratops, and I believe the Mastodon. And you get that head from it. We'll show that form on the side because it is on the packaging, but for me personally, I would have liked just the standard head release, just the Dragon Zord itself. On the cover, we do get to see some cool shots of him along the box, and again, we'll show that in a second. This is plastic-free packaging, so we will be opening this up, but we'll take a look at the box real quick. So this is the front, this is the top, and this is the episode I believe it debuted in, Season 1, Episode 21. I believe that is what that stands for, but nice little design here. It's even textured. Here's a little toy shot of it, so that's what it looks like in figure form. On the bottom, we've got some boring stuff, but this is a 1 in 144 model scale. So if we had 144 of them and we combine them, then they would reach the scale of the actual Dragon Zord, which is pretty cool. Right now, this is how I have it displayed on my shelf because I don't really have a lot of room on my Lightning Collection shelf at the moment. And I really like this art style for the Dragon Zord. I just really like this style. I think it brings out a lot. Compared to the Dino Megazord, this is going to be the comparison that we do. They went with a different style for the design on the side here. I believe this is the style they're going to be using going forward. I believe the Astro Megazord has something similar to this. With this, they just didn't know what they wanted to do yet, so this is what they have. So it doesn't really go together. Like on my shelf, I have them together like this. I prefer this one over this one, over the Dino Megazord. Here we see the Dino Megazord in full effect. And here are some of the accessories. So we get a couple little small green rangers. I'll get some close-ups of this. We get a couple little small green rangers, a couple of small figures. This was the form I was talking about where we see the face. That's what's on the cover of the box. This is just a couple different things that you can do with it. Obviously, this is what we get in the box. And if you have the Dino Megazord, you can also do this form and take it apart and create it with the Triceratops, the Mastodon, and the Saber-toothed Tiger. Or you can do this mode where you have the Dino Megazord and you kind of put the Dragon Zord on top like an armor. We also have a small little Green Ranger here piloting the Zord. So if we lift the little flap up here, we will do that and check it out. And these are some of the accessories that come with it. Some finger missiles. We're going to open this. I don't know the best way to open this. I think I have to open it on both sides because it slides out. This is a little flap. So we're going to have to cut this. Now we're going to have to cut this. So just to show that it's fully sealed. I've never opened this yet. So sealed there. Sealed there. And on the opposite side, it is sealed here. And sealed here. I'm going to see if I can just cut one side because I do want to kind of leave this side untouched because this is how I display it, but I believe I will have to cut it to take it all out, so that is unfortunate. The kid inside of me is just screaming like, oh my god, we have the fucking Dragon Zord! Actually, I just saw that there's a third tape up here, but if the other two aren't open, that one's definitely not going to be open as well. And yeah, we have to cut the other side, so let me do that real quick, even though I really don't want to. I wanted to leave this untouched. So I'm going to take off the little slip cover, Boom. So there it is. There's a slipcover. A nice little clean design there. And the rest of the box is the same because we already showed this version off. But here is the back. A nice shade of green. Ooh, it's very shiny. Ooh, look at that. And here's more tape to cut off. We already know that everything else was sealed, so this wouldn't be unsealed, but just to show off. I'm going to lay it down like this and slowly lift it up. Come on. Boom, it's up. I believe there's a design. Yes, there is a design on the inside. That's kind of distracting. Like, the art's cool, but if you look closely, you can see all the Z's in there. It's a nice little touch, but it can be distracting if I just wanted to look at the art. So there's a nice shot of the inside. So like I said, just the Z's are kind of distracting, but the art's really cool. So we're going to put this away for now. I don't think we're missing anything else. Actually, there's a QR code. If you are interested in scanning it, I actually think it's upside down. If you are interested in scanning it and checking it out, feel free to pause the video and scan it. All right, we're in the next level of the box. This is the basically like the inside panel of the Megazord, which is really cool. But here we see the dragon coin. We see the little head for the Green Ranger, and we see the Dragon Zord. We will get close-ups. So there we see the Dragon Zord head, the dragon coin, and the Green Ranger. And they shine as well. And I guess this lifts. We're lifting it. Does it lift completely? It does lift completely. I probably should have left some of that in. We got some random tape here. And here we have our bad boy. Oh, it looks so fucking cool. So let's take out the accessories. Oh, this is the okay, that's the hands and the missile. This, I'm not sure what this is. Actually, I think I do know what this is. This looks like instructions. Yes, we get some instructions. This is the tail. Oh, this comes out, slides out. Cool. Tail, boom. We're gonna slide that back in there. And here we got Buddy. Hell yeah. And then in the back, just a green design here. Let's open up the accessories. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. On the side, we get to see the dragon dagger, the little flute. That's how we summoned our Dragon Zord here. I've unpacked the accessories. We're going to save the Dragon Zord for just a second, but we're just going to show it off. So first and foremost, we get the tail as a separate piece. I'm assuming this is removable and we can place it back on at our leisure if we like. But looks like the tail has full control. And if you want, you can line all these green lines up. I don't know if that's going to... I don't know if that means anything or whatnot, but... You can see the green lines there, and the green lines there. And we've got the drill tail, and yeah, a lot of articulation here. You can move it side to side, kind of like if it was Godzilla and his tail would be swaying behind him walking, or it can be doing the wave. So pretty cool, and there's a little piece that it pops into. We'll take a look at that in a second. Then we got the Green Ranger figures, the little small figures. These are actually way smaller than what I was expecting, but it's got some good detail. Focus camera. We need to show off the Green Ranger. So there he is. They even sculpted the dragon dagger on his thigh there. There's a comparison with my fingernail. Very, very small. We'll even do a comparison with the tail. So the tail is quite large, and the Green Ranger is quite small. Just to put into perspective. And we have this one playing the flute. Pretty good detail for a very small figure. I think they did a pretty good job. And then we got some hands. I believe these are the special hands for when he becomes that version. When he combines with the Dino Megazord. These are actually a softer plastic. As you can see, they kind of bend here. So it's not a hard plastic, a very soft plastic. But we got the hands for that. I believe that's what this is. We've got these little clips here. I believe this is also for one of those forms. Not sure which one, but just 2 little flaps. And then we've got some hands for our Dragon Zord. If you want to put these on, I believe these are just regular hands for him. Looking pretty good, and we do get 2 of them. I'll just show off the one for now. A little hole there for the peg. Then we get another set of hands, kind of similar to the ones that we just showed off, except these ones have very sharp nails, and they look fabulous. Oh, we got a little bit of a scuff here. Damn, that sucks. Got a little bit of a red scuff on here. I'm trying to scratch it off, but it doesn't look like it's coming off. That is unfortunate, but he does have some very finely manicured nails, and they look great. To the unseen eye, they might be manicured nails, but to the hardcore fan, you will know that these are missiles that he launches from his fingertips. Why is it not focusing? There we go. And speaking of missiles, we also get some launching missile accessories. Yes. So these are the missiles launching from his fingernails. And these are the little pegs that go in the holes. I'm assuming that port is already on his hand because it's not compatible with the other hands that we showed off. But here we can see launching and a kind of smoke effect. And we also get this, and I'm not sure what this is. I think I know what it is. I think it's to make the sword. If we look on here, when he combines with the Dino Megazord, that's the little piece that you take the dragon shield from him, and it goes onto here, and it makes a weapon. So for just the Dragon Zord, we don't need this accessory, but this is for if you're combining them all together. So this one isn't really too important, but we'll just show it off. It kind of looks like a stand of some sort, like kind of like a coat rack, like an old-fashioned one. The man of the hour, I still left him in the bag because I want to get this on video. My first look at him. It looks quite small, to be honest. I'm going to bring in... It's just slightly taller than the box, which I was pretty surprised about. I was expecting this to be a little bit taller than that, but I'm not complaining about it. I'm just kind of comparing. Let's take this bad boy out. Here we see his feet. Oh, look at those feet. Oh, should I close them? I'm going to close my eyes as I take this out. Oh, baby, look at that shine. Bro, I have it. Oh my god, it's so shiny, dude. Holy smokes. Oh, let's fix his hands. He looks a little dorky. And as we can see, these hands you can actually put the missiles into. This is for this hand. I almost don't even want to move it around. I'm just so... I don't want to say shell-shocked, but I'm just like, oh my god, I have this in hand. This should be in like a museum. As you can see here, there's where the missiles fit. But man, it is so shiny, the gold on it. This is excellent gold. This is the type of gold I wish they would use on Gold Rangers. Holy smokes, I have it. I fucking have it. Holy shit. It's hard to even believe, to be honest. Like, man, I've wanted this all my life, and the little kid in me is like, dude, it's awesome. I don't know if this headpiece, oh my god, it's so bright. I don't know if this is big. Oh, well, I guess you can retract it. This just kind of seems bigger than what I remember it being. Or maybe it's supposed to go in, similar to that. I'm not too sure. We'll check out the little Green Ranger in the head. There he is, piloting the Dragon Zord. Look, that actually looks pretty cool. I really like this detail. That's a fun one. The mouth is a little distracting because obviously you see the head for the transformation. Oh, I guess, boom, there he goes, disappears. Because, like, yeah, with it like this, I'm just like, ugh, that kind of looks gross. But I guess I can just hide it and be like, I don't know about that other form. But here's just a little flap. I'm just checking everything out. I'm just pretty much in awe. I'm sorry if I don't talk. We got knee joints, just a singular one. We've got a ball joint for the foot. It is not moving, so I don't know if I want to. It looks like it's kind of stuck in there. Ooh. How about this one? Yeah, same thing with this one. This one doesn't want to move, but you can see the joint, the ball joint in there. But, yeah, no go. And here we see the little peg. I believe that's if we transform him into the Dino Megazord. And here's his peg for his tail. And how insulting am I to not include his tail? Let me attach this bad boy. So there it is. Now he's complete. Oh, baby. Look at that. It's the fucking Dragon Zord. Oh, it's so pretty. This headpiece is a little distracting. I don't know if it's supposed to be up or down, or if that's too big. I think it's supposed to be like this, but it just looks massive. Looks like a shark. Like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Can't really move the arms too much. Well, he does have little arms. He's kind of like the T-Rex, where he's just got very tiny arms. Look at me and my little tiny shiny arms. Oh, we've got a waist joint. There we can see that. That's cool. So he takes a hit. And oh, that's actually pretty cool. If we look closely here, you can't really see it because that red that's on the face that we can see here, it's supposed to be the red for the eyes. It's pretty hard to see. Right there, you can see a little red there. So that's pretty cool. That's kind of supposed to be the eyes. I kind of feel like this should glow. Like this should like light up. Or not glow, sorry. This should light up. I believe the original one did this. Oh, we can bring his... Oh, we can kick. Look at that. Oh, shit. We can do the test. We can do the sit test. Oh, that goes up pretty high. Look at that. You know, just sitting here waiting for Tommy. Where is he? How about a split test? Split test is pretty much a no-go because these pieces here, that's about as far as his legs go out. I'm kind of weirded out about the feet, though. Like, I feel like you should move the feet somehow. Oh, here. I really don't want to break it. I want to move it, but, like, I don't want... I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to mess with it because I don't want to immediately regret my purchase. But I'm just kind of messing around, seeing what little things flip up. We can see the back here. Actually, let's see if we can remove the tail. Okay, that's pretty easy. So that's cool. We're going to set his tail aside just because we're going to look at the back here. So we've got a little... So this goes down in the head there. There's a little clip here. I don't know if that's used to pull. Oh, this goes back. And then... Oh, this comes out. Okay. I guess this... Oh, okay. So you can do that. I'm assuming that's for one of the transformations. I kind of like it like this, where it's just nice and small, the fin. Let me take a look at the box. Because if we take a look at the little illustration here, I feel like this is more accurate to what it should be. But if we take a look on this side... It looks like this is more up. Like this. I don't think it comes all the way up. I think this is for if the... Where's the other box? Okay, so the fin's supposed to come up with that form. It's supposed to be elevated like that. This is how it should be. Like this. But that's weird on the back then, because this is just supposed to be like this. I guess if you kind of put it down, it doesn't really matter. Let's close his mouth. Oh, it affects that, so that pushes... Okay, interesting, interesting. Yeah, there's a lot more you can do with this. I'm not going to mess around with it too much, because like I said, I don't want to break it. I'm just pretty much in awe. Let's put his tail back on. Actually, we will do a little hand change, because we didn't do that, so let's try and pull one of these bad boys out. Okay, that was pretty easy. We will put in a... Let's put in this hand. We got a finger missile hand. Okay, it's on. It's on. It was a little hard to put on. I guess I was just kind of breaking it in. And we'll put some missiles on this hand. But yeah, here he is, looking absolutely awesome. I'm going to be honest, I'm very, very happy with this. And I also brought a friend for him. So in the box comes a little version of the Green Ranger, but I decided to bring my regular Green Ranger figure to join his buddy here. I'm going to be honest, I'm over the moon. This, like I said, this is a holy grail item for me. It's just really cool to have this after so many years. I think they did a great job with the detail. Love the gold. I think the gold really, really pops. I think all the accessories are really cool. For me personally, as a fan of, you know, the Green Ranger, I always wanted a definitive version of the Dragon Zord, and I'm happy to say I think I have one, so I am pretty happy with this. I'm going to go pack everything up, but that is it that we are showing off for this month. Now we're going to jump into the pre-order and news section. We got a lot of stuff to talk about there, so without further ado, let's jump into that. All right, now we are going to be jumping into the pre-order and news section. Hope you guys enjoyed everything that I showed off this month. A lot of cool additions to my collection. Let's talk about some additions that might be coming in the future in the pre-order section. The first thing I pre-ordered was Dragon Ball SH Figuarts Android 19. Yes, this was announced and up for pre-order. Very excited about this one. I think the figure looks awesome. The Android saga is probably my favorite. So to start collecting the androids is awesome. I think they got all the details in there and the figure looks absolutely incredible. I can't wait to add him to my collection. And before I go any further, anything I pre-ordered here that I'm going to talk about, I will have links for in the description in case you are interested as well in pre-ordering this. I pre-ordered this on Big Bad Toy Store, which is really cool because I thought it was going to be an exclusive to a premium Bandai and they don't ship to Canada. So when this was first announced, I was kind of like, oh fuck, I'm missing out on the pre-order. But then eventually Big Bad Toy Store hooked it up and they announced the pre-order there and I ended up pre-ordering it there. So very thankful to them. Shout out to Big Bad Toy Store. Next, I pre-ordered some TMNT figures. Yes, the best action line. We talked about these on the last episode. They were revealed, and now they've officially gone up for pre-order, so I ended up pre-ordering the Slash figure and the April O'Neil. I think they look fantastic, and I can't wait for them to come out. I believe they have a release date of May, if I remember correctly, and the release date for the Android 19, I believe, is November, so we won't be getting that for a while. Another two figures I can't wait to add to my collection. These two are part of the same collection, the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Not too much news came out from them in the month of March, but they did announce some pre-orders, and the pre-orders they announced were for SPD Yellow Ranger and the Lost Galaxy Yellow Ranger, and both of these figures look awesome. The SPD Yellow Ranger, finally getting that to complete the SPD team, so that's going to be awesome, can't wait to get that. And the Lost Galaxy Yellow Ranger, now there is a little thing with the Lost Galaxy Yellow Ranger that one of her accessories that she's missing, not missing per se, but they didn't decide to package it with her, which is really dumb to be honest, is her Quasar Saber. The Quasar Saber that they packaged with her is the one that's kind of always in the holder. It's the like little dagger mode, but all the other Rangers have the extended Quasar Saber, and for some reason they're leaving it out for the Lost Galaxy Yellow Ranger. So once again, there's going to be an inconsistency with the whole team where a bunch of the Rangers have it and then there's going to be one Ranger that's just left out of it. Similar to Zeo Blue, where he didn't come with his Tonfas, and for some reason they decided to do that with the Yellow Ranger. Like someone had to check that and be like, yeah, it's good to get shipped out. So the quality control is just absolutely horrendous. I don't know why they didn't add that accessory. It's honestly mind-blowing, and I don't have any words for it. It's just really, really fucking stupid. Speaking of Hasbro, the same company, another thing I pre-ordered was some Hasbro Marvel Legends figures. They had a stream, which we'll talk about in a second. It happened, I don't remember the date, but they revealed a bunch of stuff and a couple things that I ended up pre-ordering. So the first one was the Marvel Legends Dr. Octopus and Aunt May 2-pack of VHS. This is the Dr. Octopus that I wanted for a long time. Plus, it gets better. This is the version that I wanted. Plus, it comes with bendy wire tentacles. That is a feature a lot of people have been asking about for a long time for Doc Ock, so it's finally cool to get it, and especially in the version that I want. So definitely pre-ordered this. Plus, it's in a 2-pack with Aunt May, which is kind of cool. I don't have an Aunt May figure, so I look forward to getting this one. But that Dr. Octopus, beautiful. I ended up pre-ordering another 2 figures that they revealed during the stream, and that is the Marvel Legends Tarantula and Marvel Legends Rose, which are going to be on a Spider-Man retro card. This was revealed as part of a Spider-Man wave that's going to be coming out in Marvel Legends. Got a big issue, this whole wave in particular, but the Tarantula specifically. Just seems like prices are going up and up and up, and they're giving us less and less stuff. Well, let's bring up the Marvel Legends Tarantula that they announced, where they are asking for a full price, where the Tarantula figure, it looks cool. I really look forward to getting it. It's on that retro card. It looks beautiful, but but it comes with 0 accessories. I will show the box. 0 accessories and 0 Build-A-Figure piece. It is just 1 figure. That is it. That is all that's in the packaging. How can you charge me full price for that? That's insane. Bro, when I saw this, I was like, the audacity of them to do that. And I'm going to be honest, part of me wanted to cancel my pre-order, and I still might do it because honestly, this is one of those things, as much as I want the figure, and I do want these 2 figures, like Rose, I can kind of make an exception for because he does come with accessories. He comes with some extra hands, he comes with 2 guns, and he comes with a Rose. But the Tarantula comes with nothing. He comes with nothing and you're charging me full price? That's absolutely fucking crazy. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I almost canceled my pre-order. Right now I'm keeping it because like I said, I ordered this off GameStop, so I do get the 10%, so it's not as bad. But part of me just wants to cancel it to just kind of send a message and be like, this is not okay. How in the fuck can you not package anything with this figure? I might cancel. I'm going to be absolutely 100% honest with you. This is one of those things you got to speak with your wallet here. If you think that Hasbro is bending you over and just kind of trying to take your money and you're not getting your money's worth, you got to speak with your wallet. I don't know if I'm going to cancel it. I don't want to be a hypocrite and say cancel it and then I don't cancel it. If I'm going to speak passionately about something, I want to actually take the initiative and jump on board that. But right now, I have not canceled it, but it is not out of the realm of possibility of me canceling my pre-order for Tarantula. I know there were rumors that they were going to phase out Build-A-Figures. I do like the Build-A-Figure, but at the same time, there have been Build-A-Figures before where I'm like, man, I wish that was just a deluxe figure and I could just buy that instead of having to buy all the figures in the wave. And half the time, I don't want to buy all the figures in the wave. I only want to buy like maybe 1, 2, 3 at most. So I'd rather buy like a deluxe version, pay a little more, but I get a bigger figure with the articulation that I want. But yeah, giving us absolutely nothing in the box besides the figure, whew, that is balls on Hasbro to fucking put that out there. Blew my fucking mind. It still blows my mind. I still can't believe it. But it's cool to see the retro packaging. Plus they're doing this weird thing where, so 2 of the figures, the Rose and the Tarantula, are getting the retro Spider-Man style packaging. And then the rest of the figures in the wave are getting a different kind of retro packaging where they're not packaging it as a retro Spider-Man figure. They're creating their own Spider-Man packaging, similar style, but the box looks kind of whack. I just feel like there could be a lot more done with the box. It just looks very plain. You got the web, you got a different Spider-Man text. The other version of the Marvel Legends retro Spider-Man box and the other retro carded stuff, X-Men, Fantastic Four, whatever it may be, you know, it kind of has a flair to it. It appeals to us because the nostalgia of it. You know, we bought the figures as younger kids and we got those older style versions. These newer style retro cards, I don't know, they just don't have the charisma, I would say. Just, I don't know, it looks kind of plain. Like I can see it on a shelf and just, it's sitting there because it just looks kind of plain. Like it'll sell because it's Spider-Man, but it just looks extremely boring to me. We're going to backpack off that into the news, and we're going to start with the Marvel Legends news. So we had a Marvel Legends stream March 1st, and that's where they announced this new Spider-Man wave, which is going to be a new design of Ben Reilly, Chasm, who's a different version of Ben Reilly, a more modern design of Miles Morales, the Rose, Tarantula, who we talked about earlier, a new design for Spider-Woman, and Elektra as Daredevil. So I already kind of gave my thoughts on this, so we're going to kind of skip over that. After that, they revealed the animated series Doc Ock and Aunt May. That's another thing we talked about in the pre-order section. After that, on stream, they were talking about how 2023 is going to be the 60th anniversary of the Avengers, and they announced a bunch of Avengers figures. So we're going to be getting a classic Iron Man, a Bruce Banner and Grey Hulk 2-pack, a Thor and Destroyer 2-pack, Hawkeye with a vehicle, Doctor Doom and Captain Marvel 2-pack, a Black Knight and Cersei 2-pack, a Black Widow, Bucky as Captain America, Super Skrull and Queen Skrull 2-pack, and a Super Adaptoid, which is going to be a 13-inch figure. So all the characters I just mentioned are all Avengers-related characters. To be honest, I'm not sure what I'm going to grab from here. I'm probably not going to grab Iron Man. Bruce Banner and Grey Hulk, probably not. Thor and Destroyer, probably not. Hawkeye with the vehicle, it sucks because a couple months ago I just bought the vintage Hawkeye. And if I just waited a little bit, I could have got Hawkeye with the vehicle, but you know what, shit happens. And I'm reading everything else on the list. The only thing I might grab is the Super Skrull and Queen Skrull 2-pack. I got to take a look at it because I don't remember what they look like, but that might be something I pick up. And the Super Adaptoid, a 13-inch figure, that just kind of sounds pretty awesome, so I might be picking that up as well. But something I might be interested in is what they ended off the stream with, which was a little tease for a new HasLab project, which is going to be an Avengers theme. Now, the first thing everyone will probably think of is just a giant Ant-Man figure, and that's probably what it's going to end up being, like the Sentinel and the Galactus before that, which, you know, I can see that happening. For me personally, I don't really have any expectations for this. Not the biggest Avengers fan, so I'm just going to kind of wait to see what it is. But I might not even back this. We'll have to wait to see what it is. And that was all that they revealed for the stream. But then they ended up revealing something else via IGN, which was another wave of figures. It's going to be the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse wave, which is going to consist of Spider-Man 2099, Miles Morales, Spider-Punk, Spider-Man, which is going to be the Peter B. Parker version, Spider-Gwen, Jessica Drew, who plays Spider-Woman, The Spot, who's going to be the main villain, I believe, and he actually comes with some really cool accessories, and they also revealed Cyborg Spider-Woman, which is going to be a completely separate figure, and that's going to be a deluxe figure. I think they all look pretty good. The only one I'm kind of interested in is The Spot, because I don't know if we'll ever get a Spot figure, and that's just a really obscure villain of Spider-Man's, and I would really like to get it. The style that it's in is very akin to the movie, so I don't know if that would fit in to my other figures, but honestly, Spot is just kind of a weird character. So, you know, he's basically a guy who's full of black holes, so that can kind of be whatever you want it to be. I might get this Spot figure. I'm not too sure yet. I'm still debating, but I really like the accessories that he comes with. I'll put pictures of it on the screen. They're also coming on this retro type card. So we just talked about a retro card that they kind of made up for the previous Spider-Man wave, and now they're doing another retro style card for the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse figure. Also, something I want to mention is no Build-A-Figure piece. I'm not too sure about accessories. I didn't really look into that, so I will put something up on the screen text-wise to talk about the accessories. I'm assuming the Build-A-Figure would have been Cyborg Spider-Woman, but they ended up making it its own figure, which is pretty cool. So some cool stuff there. Next, we're going to jump into some Transformers news real quick. Speaking of Marvel Legends, how they just had their stream, Transformers announced that they're going to be having a stream on April 4th with a lot of product reveal. I got my fingers crossed that hopefully they announce some Beast Wars figures. I'm assuming they're going to announce a bunch of Rise of the Beast figures, which wouldn't surprise me because the movie's coming out soon. But just give me like 1 or 2 Beast Wars figures and I'll be a happy little boy. Please, can we do that, Hasbro? Can you give me a little Beast Wars treat? That's all I ask for. And that's the only Beast Wars news. But with all these streams coming out, you know, we've got Marvel Legends just had theirs. Transformers is going to have theirs. Can we see a Power Rangers one coming up soon? Maybe in May, maybe in April. I think they might space it out till May because the Marvel Legends one was March 1st. The Transformers one's April 4th. So maybe we might get a Power Rangers one early May. That's what it kind of seems like right now. I can also see them doing a Power Rangers stream somewhat in middle of April because they're going to be releasing the 30th anniversary Mighty Morphin Power Rangers special, which is going to be a Netflix exclusive. I can't wait to watch that. I watched the trailer. It looks pretty awesome. So I think they might have a stream in between there, or they might announce something in accordance to the special coming out just to kind of piggyback off it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have some sort of Power Rangers announcement in April, or maybe even a fan stream itself. But they haven't announced anything in advance. But I would assume maybe early May, maybe we'll get a big product reveal stream. Next, we're going to jump on over to the DC Multiverse, McFarlane's DC DC Multiverse, and they announced a bunch of cool stuff. The first thing they announced was a Tim Drake Robin. Now, we have gotten a Tim Drake Robin before. It was a gold label figure. I picked that up and showed it off a couple months ago. They are finally doing the regular version of this Tim Drake Robin, and it's going to be his normal color scheme, the red, the yellow, the green. I really like that color scheme. That's what I wanted from the Robin I already got. It's got the colored arms, it doesn't have the weird thing that the gold label version has. So I'm probably going to pick up this Robin because this is the version that I wanted. So this is my definitive Robin, so I'm happy to grab that. And another thing McFarlane announced was a wave of figures, and man, they really came with it. So they finally revealed some Flash figures. So the Flash movie is going to be coming out June, I believe, and they finally revealed some figures to go along with that movie. So we're going to be getting the Flash, obviously. We're going to get a second Flash figure, which is a Batman suit that he crafted into a Flash suit, and that looks kind of cool. We're going to be getting a Supergirl figure. We're going to be getting a Dark Flash figure. Big surprise there because he hasn't been revealed or announced or anything in the trailer, so this was kind of our first look at him, and he looks pretty weird. I was expecting us to see a reverse Flash in the movie, just because that's what the whole Flashpoint is kind of based on. So I don't know if this Dark Flash is going to be kind of that reverse Flash role, or is this going to be like a time remnant thing from the show where he's coming to hunt down Barry for fucking up the timeline. I think it's probably more the second. And after that, we got some really cool figures, also part of the wave. We're going to be getting a Ben Affleck Batman, and that's going to be coming with a cloth cape. I'm going to be honest, the Ben Affleck Batman does not look too hot. Like, the suit looks cool, but the face, that chin looks busted as fuck. It doesn't look anything like Ben Affleck. And what's funny is they've released a Ben Affleck Batman before, part of the Justice League wave, and I would say that one looks better than this one here, but that's just my opinion. And the one that I know a lot of people are excited for, and I saw this shit sell out fast. Like, this went like sold out. I checked Big Bad Toy Store, I checked GameStop, sold out. People really want this figure, and it is the Michael Keaton version of Batman, and that also comes with a cloth cape. We'll talk more about that cloth cape here in a second. That figure looks awesome. I'm probably going to pick that up. I grew up with the movie. I would like one kind of based more on that original look, the original movie, but I don't know if we'll ever get that, so this might be the closest thing for me, so I'm probably going to pick this up. I haven't pre-ordered it yet, because like I said, it's been sold out everywhere I checked. Even Amazon fucking sold out. That was another thing. I checked Amazon, sold out. I had it in my cart. I went to check out, sold out. So this is a very sought after figure. And they're also going to be releasing a unmasked version of the Michael Keaton, and that's going to be a gold label figure, and that one's going to be exclusive to Target. That one also comes with a cloth cape. The Michael Keaton head doesn't look too bad. Definitely looks better than the Ben Affleck one. It's passable. I don't mind it. And then some of the coolest things they announced, which honestly, I'm not a vehicle guy, but these look awesome. So we've got the Batcycle, which is just kind of a motorcycle. That one's not too cool. That one's coming in at $30. But these next two things, like I said, I'm not a vehicle guy, but I might be ordering these things, which is the Batmobile, the classic Batmobile from the Michael Keaton movie, which looks absolutely fucking incredible. I love the way this thing looks. This was another thing that just sold out, gone. People just went absolutely batshit for this, no pun intended. As soon as this was announced, people were just like, yep, yoink, mine, got it. So I will probably be picking up this Batmobile. I love the way it looks. It looks awesome, and it's for a pretty good price. It's $60 American, which I think is a pretty good price. So for me, it's probably going to be about $80. For a vehicle, I would think like $100 plus, so $80 is not that bad. And then the last thing that they announced is the Batwing, and this is going to be a McFarlane toy exclusive, so you're only going to be able to get it on the McFarlane toy store. Similar to the Blue Lantern Kyle Rayner that we showed off earlier, only available there. But what's funny was I saw this on Amazon. It's available on Amazon.ca, the Canadian version. so I can actually pick it up there. I didn't check if it's available on the American Amazon site, so I'm not sure there, but when they announced it as a McFarlane store exclusive, but at least for Canadians, we can get it off Amazon, which is pretty fucking cool. That's going to set you back $250. It can be mounted to the wall. It's actually going to come with a mount, a little Batman logo that you can mount to the wall, and you can stick the back wing too. It has retractable landing gear, easy to open cockpit, boosters, and it also comes with a collectible card, and the box looks pretty cool. Backing up to what I mentioned earlier, those Batmans that I was talking about with the cloth cape, that cloth cape is really cool addition to those Batman figures, and it also makes it really easy to put them into the Batmobile or the Batwing, where other Batmans that McFarlane has released comes with the very solid plastic cape, so you're not able to put in those vehicles. But with these figures, they added the cloth cape, which I think is a really cool touch, and you can put them into the vehicles. Really, really fucking cool. The Batwing, a little less likely to get. I would like it because it does look pretty awesome, but if I'm going to get any of these vehicles, that Batmobile looks incredible. I definitely want to pick that up, so whenever that becomes available again for pre-order, I will probably be pre-ordering that. But the Batwing, that might be a little too big for me. I don't know if I have any room for that. I think I can make some room for a Batmobile, but for a Batwing, oof, looks awesome, but I don't know if I can spare the room at the moment. And then last but not least, we got some wrestling news. Quite a bit, to be honest. So first and foremost, we have the Impact Wrestling figures, which we talked about before in a previous video. These have actually gone up for pre-order. They are available on the Impact Wrestling shop store. If you go to impactwrestling.com and you go to their little store, you'll be able to order the figures there. So the figures are up for pre-order for about a month. They're going to cost $45 each. And they're expected to ship in mid to late May. So that's actually quite a fast turnaround, especially for figures that we haven't seen any actual finished designs, prototypes, or molds. And that's one of the reasons why I have not pre-ordered these. I'm going to be honest, I will probably pre-order them because this is the type of thing where I'll check out the first wave and I'll kind of make a decision from there. Oh, I like it. Oh, I don't like it. Or maybe I'll wait for reviews. I don't think there's going to be a lot of these made. So if you are interested in it, I would highly recommend pre-ordering it and reserving your figure. But just keep in mind, if you do pre-order these figures, we have not seen any actual finished designs or prototypes. So we don't know what to expect. I don't even know if they're going to be able to fulfill that May release date because we should have seen something by now, but it's still the stupid little render that they have that looks very blocky and not very good. So if you do pre-order that, keep in mind that we haven't seen them yet. I haven't pre-ordered mine. I'm probably going to wait till the last day to pre-order them. And in case you forgot, Wave 1 is going to consist of 4 figures. We got Eddie Edwards, Moose, Jordan Grace, and Deonna Purrazzo. So hopefully by the time this video comes out, they'll show some sort of figure that we can actually see what it looks like. But $45 for, kind of a handshake deal where it's like, oh yeah, we're going to get you your figures, but we're taking your money. I'm not saying that Impact's trying to scam you. I'm just trying to say, be smart with your money. We haven't seen anything concrete yet, so I would say maybe hold off. And then we've got some AEW Jazzwares news. Was a new ringside exclusive 2-pack, which is going to be a 2-pack with MJF and CM Punk from their dog collar match. And I'm going to be honest, this dog collar 2-pack looks very cool. It's cool to even get the dog collar because I don't think that's ever been an accessory in a wrestling figure pack. I don't think I've ever seen it. So it'll be cool to get that. And the figures themselves look cool. The CM Punk looks awesome. The bloody CM Punk with the white throwback Ring of Honor shorts. MJF looks pretty good. He comes with 2 different heads. He comes with like a screaming head and like a serious face. I can't stop seeing Colt Cabana when I see the screaming face. I just don't think it looks like MJF, but the other head of MJF, I think looks absolutely spot on. It looks great. And the green attire that it comes in looks absolutely awesome. So I don't know if I'm going to pick this up, but this is something that I like that Jazzwares does. They've done it for Cody Rhodes and Dustin when they had their match at the pay-per-view. Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley, their barbed wire match. Thunder Rosa, her bloody match. They did it for Britt Baker, I believe. So this is a really cool 2-pack. I like Jazzwares doing the bloody figures for AEW. It's something different where Mattel and WWE, more so specifically WWE, they shy away from blood, where Jazzwares is like, no, fuck it, we're going to celebrate these matches. We're going to put blood on these figures. And I just think that's a really cool thing. It's a really cool set. Like I said, it's a ringside exclusive. It's going to be $58.99. I don't know the release date. I did not write that down. And then we've got Mattel ending out here with just a lot of stuff announced in March. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the WrestleMania weekend reveals. We're not going to talk about all of them because a lot of those fall under April, but they did reveal some stuff in the last few days of March, and we'll talk about those here. So first and foremost, they revealed WWE Elite Wave 103, and that's going to be the Street Profits, Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns, Liv Morgan, and I can't fucking believe it that they're even doing this figure. Like, it's just so fucking weird. They're doing a Stardust figure. I saw this wave leaked like a month ago where these were the rumored names in the wave, and I'm like, there's no fucking way we're getting a Stardust figure. You know, I don't know if anybody wants a Stardust figure. There has been a previous release of Stardust. He's had one WWE Elite figure. I have that, and I'm pretty happy with it. But I guess this is cool for anybody that's missed out on the Stardust figure and they want it. I'm guessing they've been holding out on this. I guess they, like, made this a long time ago, and Cody ended up leaving, so like, fuck, we have this figure that we can't release anymore because he's now with the company. All right, we're just going to sit on it. Kind of like the Jeff Hardy figure. It was supposed to be in like the first Elite wave, and Jeff Hardy ended up getting fired or leaving, and they just sat on it, and eventually he came back to WWE, and they released it as a entrance grade, I believe, or a defining moment. I'm not sure which one. And I think that's kind of what happened here, where they had a Stardust figure in the pipeline. He ended up leaving, and they're like, oh, we'll just sit on this. Maybe he'll come back eventually. And he did. He does come with a very cool accessory. He comes with a ladder, and it has a polka dot design. This is from one of the Money in the Bank matches. So that's a cool touch. But I'm not sure if there was anyone asking for a Stardust figure. But as far as everyone else, this is going to be a skip for me. After that, they revealed WWE Elite Legends 20, which is going to be Ted DiBiase in the exact same version that I just fucking bought. Isn't that absolutely insane? My jaw dropped when I saw this. I'm like, no fucking way. I just bought this goddamn figure, and now they're re-releasing it in white. It does look cool in white, but I think it looks better in black. He's also going to get a Chase figure. It's more of his modern day look when he was with LA Knight and Cameron Grimes in that feud. And other people that are going to be in the wave are Greg Valentine, Triple H, and one that I was kind of excited about until I saw what it came with, which is Mr. Perfect. And he comes with a rubber singlet, similar to the Rick Boogs that we showed off earlier. He's going to have the singlet, the rubber singlet that you can kind of bring down. I do want a Mr. Perfect figure, and I do like the yellow, but man, I just don't want the rubber singlet. It's just like a killer for me. So this is kind of a maybe. The figure looks cool, like the head sculpt looks cool, it looks awesome. Just the rubber singlet might be a detractor for me, to be honest. After that, they announced WWE Elite Greatest Hits 2. So we already knew two people that were coming in this figure wave, which was going to be King Harley Race and Batista in the blue Tista gear. And they finally revealed everyone else. And the rest is going to be DDP, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, and Seth Rollins. Pretty cool looking wave. I don't know if I'll be picking up anybody here, but as far as the Seth Rollins in this wave, kind of disappointing, where there was a Seth Rollins that released, I believe it was Elite 44, around there. It was a Seth Rollins, and he's in his white gear. And I know people really want a re-release of that, and they decided to go with something else. He's just in like his regular black gear. I believe this is when he cashed in his Money in the Bank to win the WWE title from Brock Lesnar. Or Roman Reigns, I don't remember which one. A really weird choice, because I think people have made it pretty clear they want a re-release of the white version, but what are you going to do? Obviously, someone knows better. After that, we had a WWE Ultimate Survivor Series 1990 debut 2-pack. This was a really random thing that they announced. I was like, what the fuck? Is this like an early April Fool's Day joke? And it is not. It is not an April Fool's Day joke. They announced pre-orders and everything, so they're definitely taking your money for it. And it's going to be a Ultimate 2-pack of Undertaker and the Gobbledygooker. And the Gobbledygooker is also going to come with a hatchable egg. Nothing I said there is fake. That is all real. This is real. I will show pictures on the screen. It's super random. I know it'll probably sell and people will probably want it, but it just is super, super random. This is going to be an Amazon exclusive, so if you're interested in this, go check out Amazon and you can probably pick it up there. So a couple more things they revealed at WrestleMania weekend thing. And the things I'm talking about here isn't even everything. They said they were going to have reveals every day. These are only reveals that happen on March 30th and March 31st. So there's still more reveals that are supposed to happen April 1st and April 2nd. So we will be talking more about the wrestling stuff on the next episode. So look forward to that. But a few more things they announced. They revealed a bunch of WWE Ultimate figures. Some I might actually be picking up, so we're going to be getting Ultimate versions of Eddie Guerrero. The Eddie Guerrero looks cool. I believe that's when he won the WWE title from Brock Lesnar. Rey Mysterio, that's the gear that he wore at WrestleMania 22 when he won the World Heavyweight title. The Randy Orton is nothing really special, to be honest. It's just like his regular gear. Nothing really stands out about it. Macho Man, it's from some WrestleMania. And then we're going to be getting a Brock Lesnar Ultimate, and that's going to be based on his Ruthless Aggression era, kind of his debut look with the black trunks and stuff. And probably one that I might be getting, the RVD. Looks pretty cool. I really like it. The attire's a little dull. It is not as colorful as I would have hoped it was, but I believe it's from the One Night Stand where he won the world title, or the WWE title from John Cena, because he does come with the spinner belt. And I think it's really weird. Why would you not package him with the ECW world title as well? Because around that time, that's when he had both. And I just think that would have been cool to get both accessories, but that's just me. He's going to be coming with like 4 different heads, 3 or 4 different heads. The one head they had displayed on him, I thought looked absolutely hideous. He just looked so fucking old. All the other heads looked fine, but I thought they chose the worst one to display him with, but that's just my opinion. And then last but not least, for the reveals, we have probably the most exciting one. I know a lot of people were talking about this. The defining moments are back. We already knew they were coming back, but we didn't know they were coming back in this big of a way. They announced 4 different defining moments figures. We're going to be getting Mankind, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and Cody Rhodes. Mankind's going to be from the Hell in a Cell match that he had at King of the Ring with The Undertaker. Bret Hart is from WrestleMania 8, I believe. It's this all pink gear. Shawn Michaels, this is from when he wrestled Psycho Sid at Royal Rumble 97, I believe. And Cody Rhodes, this one's actually pretty cool. This is when he wrestled Seth Rollins in the Hell in a Cell with the torn pec, and they even added the torn pec to the figure. So that's a really cool moment. Like when you think defining moments, that's kind of like primed for that. They're available on Ringside Collectibles. I believe they're going to be an exclusive there. And the cool thing about them is you can buy them individually, or if you want, they have this special packaging where you can buy all 4. It looks cool. I don't know which one I'll pick up. I don't even know if I'll pick up any of these, to be honest. I think it's kind of strange, like them releasing all 4. This is a little complaint of mine. Like I know they're bringing back defining moments, and it's really cool. It's one of my favorite lines that they've ever released, just taking like iconic moments and turning them into figures. I think that's really cool, but why not just spread it out throughout the whole year instead of coming so hard with the 4 figures right away? I just thought that was kind of weird. It's not really a complaint. I would say more of an observation on my part where, why not just spread them like little by little throughout the year? I mean, it's cool that they're doing the 4-pack for it. It's asking for quite a bit from people buying all 4 right away. So, I mean, you can either buy the 4-pack or not. It's up to you. But I don't know, if it was me, I think I would have sprinkled it out throughout the year. But I guess for the first, like for the comeback version of it, I guess it makes sense. Like, oh yeah, we're coming back, and we're coming back in a hard way. Look at all this. But who knows when we'll be getting more defining moments? That's the whole thing where it's like, yeah, we're going to be getting 4 of them whenever. But when's the next time we're going to be getting them? Where if they do it, like sporadic releases, they'll be like, okay, every 3 months we'll drop one. That means we'll get one throughout the whole year. And then, we can do the same thing for the next year and slowly trickle them out. But yeah, a lot of weekend reveals for WrestleMania. And one thing I hope they reveal, I don't think they will because I think it's too early, but we have a certain person entering the Hall of Fame this year. Someone very legendary, the Great Muta. And what I'm kind of hoping for, similar to the Steiner brothers last year, where if Great Muta is entering the Hall of Fame, could we be on the precipice of getting some Great Muta figures here in about a year's time? That would be so fucking cool. Oh my god, fingers crossed we get some great Muta figures. That would be awesome. Now, the version of Muta I would like would be with a mask. I just think masked Muta looks awesome. I think if we get any Muta figures, it'll probably be from his time in WCW, where he was using the face paint, which I'm not too crazy about. But just to even get great Muta figures, I'm not going to complain. So if we can get some great Muta figures, Mattel, if we can make that happen, we got the Steiner brothers. Let's see if we can get great Muta too. I think that would be such a huge pickup for Mattel and WWE if we can do that. I would be over the moon. Like, that would just be absolutely exciting. So hopefully that's in the pipeline. But even if it is, we won't be seeing that for another 6-8 months. But if we can get some confirmation being like, yeah, we got Great Muta. He's signed to a deal. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's with WWE now. We got him. We're going to milk the shit out of him. I'd be like, yes, milk that fucker. Make as many figures as you can. That'd be awesome. But, speaking of WCW, something that I was not even expecting to be revealed in the month of March actually got revealed, and this is going to be the final story for this episode, and it's a big one. We've got Mattel announced a new Mattel Creations project, which is similar to a HasLabs with Hasbro, where it's kind of a fan-funded project where they present the project and they say, hey, are you interested in backing this? Here are the tiers, blah, 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 blah. This is the second one. I kind of was aware of the first one. It was a ring. It was like a retro ring. It was like from the early 90s. I wasn't really interested in it because I didn't grow up with that, so it doesn't mean anything to me. But yeah, I believe the first one was a ring, and it came with, Ultimate editions of Doink the Clown, Diesel, and I think there might have been a third figure. I know there was definitely Diesel and Doink the Clown and the ring. That project got funded, and they announced a new project in the month of March, and the project they announced was a WWE Ultimate Edition WCW Monday Nitro entrance stage, and this thing looks fucking cool. I'm not a playset kind of guy or display kind of guy. Like, I keep my stuff in boxes for the most part, except for my wrestling figures. But this stage looks fucking incredible. Like, the recreation on it looks absolutely insane. So like I said, this is a fan-funded project. It's going to be going on for about 30 days. The project ends on May 6th, 2023. It's $500 to fund the project. And if you do fund the project, I'll tell you what you get. So not only do you get the entrance stage, which is basically the bulk of the price, but if we get a certain amount of backers, we could be getting a few more goodies, as you can see on the display stage. So let's talk about the set a little bit. It is a recreation of the Monday Nitro entrance stage, and I think it looks great. It's standing at 20.5 inches height-wise. The width is 40 inches, and the diameter is 20 inches, 31 inches if you include the ramp. The entrance tunnel is lit by over 100 LEDs with 6 pre-programmed animated sequences controlled by remote, 4 sets of adjustable can lights for different lighting angles, entrance tunnels featuring 2 authentic Monday Nitro signs. Basically, this thing comes with the works. Super authentic. It looks awesome. You see it fully lit up. It looks incredible. That's what you're paying for $500, which I don't know if you can justify. But like most fan-funded projects, crowd-funded projects, it comes with tiers. So if we get 5,000 backers, that's how many is needed to fund the whole project. So if we get 4,999 backers, the project's not getting funded. You're not going to be charged, and nothing comes to fruition, the project fails. But if it does get 5,000 backers, not only will you get the entrance set, but you will also get the Ultimate Edition WCW Rey Mysterio. If we get to 7,000 backers, you get the entrance set, you get Rey Mysterio, and you also unlock Diamond Dallas Page. And all the figures I'm going to be talking about are in Ultimate Edition. If we get 9,000 backers, we get, for the first time ever, Scott Steiner, first time in the line. I think that's what a lot of people want And I think that, it's a very fitting figure for this set. Huge part of WCW, so very excited about that. And then the last tier, at 11,000 backers, we get a Ultimate Edition Ultimate Warrior from the time that he appeared and had a cup of coffee in WCW. They wanted to immortalize that with a figure. Not my favorite choice, but whatever. And if the project gets funded in 1 week's time, which I believe this was revealed... So the project was revealed on March 29th. So from March 29th to April 7th, it gets funded. If we get 5,000 backers, then we will also be getting Ultimate Edition of Hulk Hogan, who's in his debut WCW Nitro gear. That is all. That's the whole project. I've sold it enough. And I gotta say, I think it's a little underwhelming. Like, the set itself looks incredible. I can't say enough good things. It just looks fantastic. But in terms of the character selection for the figures, not too crazy about that. Like, I agree with 2.5 of them. I think the Rey Mysterio, I don't know if it's a must-have, but I think it's a solid addition there. He was a good representation of WCW. Scott Steiner, I think absolutely. I think that should have been included. DDP, kind of give or take. I would say we'll keep him for the most part. And then the two figures that, like, I feel get made, well, one more than the other, just get released, like, any chance they get. Like, you sneeze and there's a fucking Hulk Hogan figure. You got Hulk Hogan. Why? We don't need any more fucking Hulk Hogan figures. And the Ultimate Warrior, he looks cool in the jeans and shit, but when I think of WCW, I don't think of Ultimate Warrior. He's not in the top 100 people I would include. I would include people like Disco Inferno, Alex Wright, Vampiro, fucking Mark Jindrak, Kid Romeo, Norman Smiley, all over fucking Ultimate Warrior. Why? Why is that even a thing? Like, and you're asking for 11,000 backers to get that? Who the fuck is going to want to back that for this? So first and foremost, I don't think we're getting 11,000 backers. So the Ultimate Warrior thing is kind of, I would say, not plausible. And I don't know why you would make him the highest tier. It just doesn't make sense to me. Whatever. I think there's other guys you could have put in here. Someone like a Scott Hall. Maybe a Kevin Nash in their NWO gear. A Booker T. That would have been cool. Another guy that gets released too much that I don't know if I would have liked, but would have been a cool addition. Bret Hart. But like I said, he's another guy that gets too many figures. Obviously, the one that people probably think about the most is like Sting, but obviously he's not available because he's with AEW. I feel like there's a way better list of guys that you could have put together instead of the 5 that they chose here. Like I said, my biggest gripe is with the Hogan and the Warrior. I think DDP, he's not the most exciting figure, but honestly, he's a good representation of WCW. I think Booker T would have been a cool one to throw in here. I think the Scott Steiner was a must. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I'm going to back this because a couple things. One, it's a lot of fucking money. Don't forget that I am Canadian, so I have to pay even more, not only for figures, but for shipping. So the $500 translate to $695. We're going to just round that up to $700. $700 for a fucking stage that I will probably never use. And for 5 figures that I don't really want. Well, one that I want, but the other 4, not really. I can't justify that price for this. Like, as cool as the set looks, for me personally, this is going to be a huge skip. The only thing that would have been enticing for me would have been the figures. And the figures are not enticing for me. I don't know if it'll even get funded. The funding has been pretty slow. I've been keeping up with it the past few days. Usually with day one, there's a lot of excitement where it's like, oh shit, hell yeah, we're gonna fund this. This looks awesome, blah, 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 blah. It was a pretty slow climb day one, so I don't know how it's going to pick up any steam at the moment. As of right now, it doesn't look like it's on track to even hit the Hulk Hogan figure getting funded in a week. So right there, we're already losing some of its value with no Hulk Hogan figure. So then that leaves us with the 4 figures for $700. And, you know, I can't justify that for 5 figures. I'm definitely not going to justify that for 4 figures. Just a little too rich for my blood. I might change my mind as we get closer to the May 6th end date. But as of right now, this is a hard skip for me, but I want to know in the comments section, Are you going to be backing this? So that is going to be it for me, ending out a very long episode. Showed off a lot of cool stuff this month, a lot of cool news, a lot of cool pre-orders coming out soon, and this is a very exhausting episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And just a small announcement, I'm going to be going to a figure show in April. I believe the date is April 23rd. I'm going to be going to Mississauga Collector Con, so hoping to pick up some cool stuff there, and obviously we will be showing it off here, so that's something to look forward to for next month. But other than that, that is going to be it for me. Again, I want to thank you guys for watching. I know it was a long one. A lot of cool stuff to talk about, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy the video, if you could kindly show your support for the series by dropping a like, that would be kindly appreciated. Just kind of shows me that you like these videos. Other than that, I want to thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Keep up with everything that's going on the channel. Catch you guys in April. And until then, guys, peace out.